20.
You know, one thing, the San Diego Chargers have played very well here in San Diego Stadium. In fact, they've played very well everywhere, but they have won 11 straight games in this stadium.
There's the San Diego offense. Spouts, of course, calling the signals. Clarence Williams and Mike Thomas, the setbacks. John Jefferson and Charlie Joyner having great years at the wide receiver positions. Spouts comes out throwing. He's got Joyner at the 15, and Joyner up to close to the 30-yard line.
One thing we knew and we anticipated, the San Diego Chargers throw a lot. They're going to come out throwing. We anticipated that, but they started with 3 wide receivers. They didn't have a tight end in on the first play, and I see Bob Klein, their tight end, just came into the game for this next play.
Second down and a yard needed for the first down with the ball at the 29-yard line. Spouts has Joyner on the wing off to the right side. He's got Jefferson to the left. That's Joyner in motion. Straight up the middle to Clarence Williams, and Williams has the first down at the 33. All right, now you're Lehman Bennett. How do you get your team fired up at this point, John?
Well, I think, of course, there's a 16-game schedule, and the players and the coaches all have to realize that they have to play those 16 games. They have to play as well as they can. That this is no time to experiment. You do that in training camp. This is a time to play the best and as solid as you can.
First and 10, Chargers at their 33-yard line. Temperature around 65 degrees. Beautiful afternoon. Mike Thomas, former Washington Redskin, out to the 34-yard line. Got maybe a yard on the play. Are the Falcons playing for their jobs in essence?
Well, Lehman Bennett made a statement to that effect this week, that the Falcons are playing for their jobs now. But I still think that, you know, that may be true, but they are professionals, and I think every time you go out on that field, you have to do the best job possible.
Second down, 9. San Diego at its 33 after taking the opening kickoff. Again, Charlie Joyner in motion. Bounce back to throw it. Thomas at the 40, 45. Run out of bounds at the 48. First down, San Diego.
Again, they can do that. They can throw the football. And again, that was another play where they had the 3 wide receivers in the game. And of course, they didn't throw to any of the 3 wide receivers. As we see it again, Thomas fakes a block, and then he stops, and then he comes across underneath the linebacker coverage of the Falcons. As we can see, the Falcons got deep drops, and there was no one there in that 10-yard area between the line of scrimmage and the area that the ball was caught.
First and 10. San Diego moving the ball from its 48-yard line. Fumble. And I believe Atlanta has recovered at the 47. Ball popped out of the grasp of Mike Thomas during the exchange. He never really had control, and Atlanta picks up the fumble and takes over offensively. Looks like, let's see, it might be Edgar Fields at the bottom of the pile. They're still unpeeling some of those players. Jeff Yates, number 79, came up with the football, and Atlanta has possession offensively for the first time of the afternoon. They'll have the ball at San Diego's end of the field at the 47-yard line. No score, the game less than 3 minutes old.
Holiday greetings from Budweiser. The people who bring you Budweiser wish you and yours a happy and safe holiday season.
A big green football team, an endless yellow sea, a cherry pie, an orange sky, the bluest eyes you'll ever see. Yes, America's true colors come through on GE.
GE TV brings you America's colors vivid and lifelike, and our special VIR2 circuit adjusts the color automatically.
Yes, America's true colors come through on GE. GE, we bring good things to life.
Time still out in San Diego. Let's take the opportunity to look at that fumble again.
Well, what happened here is as we see Mike Thomas, as he starts to get the ball, instead of keeping it inside and taking it in the middle, he tries to cut to the outside too soon. And as he's taking an outside step, that's when the fumble occurs.
Let's see if the Falcons can take advantage of the turnover. They have a first down at the San Diego 47. In the past, of course, Atlanta has been the team turning the football over. Right up the middle, they send the big fella, William Andrews. And he jets to the 39-yard line. Pickup of 8. It'll be 2nd and 2. Woodrow Lowe, number 51, making the stop. A little less than that. The Atlanta backfield. Haskell standback, replacing Bubba Bean for the 2nd week in a row. Bubba hurt his knee in that Monday night game against the Rams. Wasn't back against New Orleans last week. This is Standback, the veteran, driving for the first down. And he'll be very close at the 36-yard line. Ray Preston, number 52, making the stop. 3 excellent young linebackers for the San Diego Chargers. It's kind of a no-name defense here in San Diego. All 3 linebackers drafted the same year.
And they're doing very well. I think that's one of the strengths of their defense. They call Woodrow Lowe, who's the right linebacker, and Ray Preston, the left linebacker. They call them the bookends, and they're both only 6 feet tall.
3rd down, less than a yard needed for the first down. And we get a flag. Now let's see, 30-second clock hadn't run down. It's still got 8 seconds on there, so it's not delay of game. Illegal procedure against the Falcons.
Number 70 offense.
That's the thing that really kills any drive, and we've talked about that many times, where you get in that short yardage situation, what they were looking for. They had 3rd and less than a yard to go. And now someone jumps, they move. Now they have a 3rd and 6 situation.
Number 7.
Steve Scott, the offensive lineman, on the false start. Chargers go to the prevent defense, put in that extra defensive back. Falcons now with 3 wide receivers. They have Rickman in there, Jenkins, and Francis. Ball is at the 42 of San Diego. It's 3rd and 6. Bartkowski should have been intercepted. Haskell Standback was the intended receiver, and Mike Williams, number 29, had the shot at the interception.
Mike Williams says he has his head down. He knew it because he saw a lot of field open there. But I'll tell you one thing, the Atlanta Falcons did a good job of pass protection, and that's going to be important in this game.
So the Charger defense is held. It is 4th down and 6. John James comes in to do the punting for Atlanta, standing back at his own 43. Mike Fuller, number 42, is the deep man for San Diego. James, a real expert at the so-called pooch kick, just putting it up in the air and trying to drop it down long about the 10-yard line. He doesn't have the best overall punting average in the league. There's a fair catch at the 12. So James does his job once again, as the Chargers will start this drive with rather poor field position. 11:24 left to play in the first period. No score. San Diego, Atlanta, 0-0.
The 79 Ford countdown clearance is underway. Your Ford dealer is receiving allowances and additional cash incentives that he can pass on to you right now when you buy selected new 79 Ford cars and trucks. It could add up to $400 on V8 pickups, $500 on V8 club wagons and vans, $600 on rancheros. So see a Ford dealer now. Ask him about the $400, $500, and $600 better ideas.
You're in the auto supply business? I'm in the auto supply business. You're in construction? I'm in construction. Chemicals? Me too. See, I'm really your branch office. Wherever your business travels take you, I'm already there. So you can confirm appointments, handle orders, check on shipping, keep everybody happy. Oh, excuse me. So remember, wherever you need a branch office, I'm your branch office. Use me.
Tonight at 8, 7 Central.
My high school class is naming me Man of the Year.
And the Old Flames return to Archie Bunker's place.
How's Edith?
San Diego with the football, 1st and 10 at their 12-yard line. We're talking about the records that Dan Fouts is on the verge of setting. He needs 212 yards to set a Charger season record for passing yardage, which would eclipse John Hadel's old mark. Here's Fouts, flag down. And so is Fouts back at the 3-yard line. See what the penalty marker is. He also has a shot at tying Joe Namath's record for most 300-yard games in a season. That would be 6. He has 5. The penalty, obviously, is against San Diego. Going to be illegal motion. Falcons will probably let it go by and take the sack.
Illegal motion. Number 22, offense, declined. 2nd down.
You know, it was interesting when you don't have a running game, when you don't run the ball an awful lot, then the play pass really isn't as effective. And the Chargers on that 1st down went for a play pass that had no effect on the Atlanta defense.
On 2nd and 18. Straight up the middle, not much yardage for Clarence Williams. Now, Williams certainly not your classic running back, your classic fullback. Not a big guy at all.
No, he's not. But again, the Chargers like to pass the ball so much that they like to have a pass receiver at each position. This is an interesting down here, 3rd and very long yardage, backed up to see if they will throw the ball from this area.
3rd down, 15. Chargers from their own 7. No score here in the opening period. They run it, give it to Williams. Williams drags a couple of tacklers after the 15-yard line. Still considerably short of the yardage needed for the 1st down. And the Chargers will be punting from their goal line.
I'm impressed with the way Atlanta's playing early in this game. They really went after the Chargers, and I think that 1st down sack is going to turn out to be a big player. It was a big play on that drive to establish that you're not going to be able to just stand back there and pass every play. We're going to have something to say about it.
Jeff West is back to do the punting. Billy Rickman, number 82, the deep man for Atlanta. Atlanta should come up with good field position. Rickman standing on his 45. Low snap and the kick a little bit short. Rickman at the 50, 45, and really belted at the 43-yard line of the Atlanta Chargers. Boy, what a hit on that play by Ray Preston, number 62.
And there was a penalty on the play, and I think it was against the San Diego Chargers. I think they left too early.
Now kids everywhere can enjoy the thrill of auto racing with these new radio-controlled cars from Radio Shack. On the track, obstacle course, or off the road, you control all the action with a radio transmitter. Detailed replicas of actual vehicles. There's even a tank. 10 different models priced from $11.95 to $49.95. Excitement for kids and grown-ups too. The gift-priced radio-controlled toys only at Radio Shack, your Christmas electronics store.
Used to be when I had a job to do around the house, it was one-on-one. Me against the house. And since the house was much bigger, I usually lost. Well, I've just changed all that with my new Black & Decker Workmate. It'll hold just about anything I want to work on, from a door to a pipe to a 200-pound dresser. In fact, my Workmate is so good at helping me work, I'm giving it Sunday off.
Workmates available from about $45.
Frank Glieber with John Madden back in San Diego. There was a penalty on the punt. It was against the Chargers for a man leaving too early. It was declined by the Atlanta Falcons, who will take the ball where Rickman was hit, and that is at the 43-yard line of San Diego. So the Chargers give up the football, and Atlanta has their 2nd possession here in the 1st half, which starts in San Diego's end of the field. The other coming on the fumble recovery by Yates a bit earlier. Steve Bartkowski going to the air, completes it. Jenkins at the 31-yard line, good for the 1st down. That should be good for a dozen yards. Glenn Edwards, number 27, the former Pittsburgh Steeler, making the tackle.
We're going to see the play here again, and we see again the 2nd pass that the pass protection is strong, and that one of the big improvements of the Chargers has been their pass rush. And I think that if Atlanta can continue to pass protect like that all day, they can cause trouble for this Charger defense.
Francis to the right side, Jenkins to the left. 1st down, Atlanta at the San Diego 31. Stand back in motion, and William Andrews, the great rookie running back, up the middle to the 25. This telecast is presented by authority of the NFL. It's intended for the private use of our audience. and any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the San Diego Chargers and the National Football League is prohibited. It'll be second down, 4. Falcons moving at the 25-yard line of San Diego. Andrews short of the first down as he's tripped up at the 23 by Bob Horn, the middle linebacker. Looks like the Chargers, John, have done a little shaking up because of injuries in their front 4.
Well, they have, and we see they have Lee playing right end now in place of Fred Dean, who has an injury. And then Big Hands Johnson, the right tackle, was injured early in the game, and he's on the sideline now, and DeJournay is playing at right tackle, so they have a different right end and right defensive tackle.
Third down, a long yard needed for the first down. Stanback has the first and more, 20, 15, 10. Stanback is down to the 6-yard line. First down, goal to go, Mike Williams, number 29. Save the touchdown. Tell you one thing, this doesn't look like a 4-9 team, does it?
No, it doesn't. And they're coming out with the type of start that we want. As we see Stanback run on a sweep here, they had a wing here on the strong side. They did a good job of blocking the corner on that side, and then Stanback makes a great cutback.
Back to live action. Ball is marked at the 7-yard line. First down, goal to go. Pickup of 3 for Stanback to the 4-yard line. Haskell Stanback, who came off the bench last week, 55 yards and 5 carries. Of course, they ran the football sparingly because they got behind so early against New Orleans. John Lee made the stop.
And that was the one thing that they didn't want to do today. I was talking to the Atlanta coaches, and they said one thing, they don't want to get behind early and have to play catch-up football all day.
Second and goal from the 4. Pulling his way down to the 2. William Andrews, number 31. Had a great rookie year, 201 yards shy of the club record of 1,002 yards in the season set by Dave Hampton, who is the only Atlanta Falcon to surpass 1,000 yards. Actually inside the 2 to the 1.
He's very impressive, whether he's a rookie or not.
Third down, goal to go from the 1. Stanback. Touchdown, Atlanta.
I'll tell you, I think that's just the thing that the Atlanta Falcons needed. Not only to get ahead, but a nice drive where they were able to throw. They threw the ball on first down, and we see here that it was just a man-blocking play. We see the fullback leading, Andrews leading, Stanback just looking for a hole where he can cut in. And he only needs a yard. He cuts in, knows where the goal line is, and gets there.
Here's Tim Mazzetti with the extra point try. He missed the only extra point try he had last week in the loss. And this one is good.
It's getting to a point where it's not automatic anymore, that extra point.
Not in his case. He's missed 5 this year. 6 minutes, 18 seconds left to play in the first period. And Atlanta leads it 7-0.
Some light beers don't list all their ingredients, but Natural Light lists what's in here. This less filling beer has a fuller taste. It's all natural with lots of barley malt.
Oh, you can call it barley malt, and you can call it grain, or you can call it choices hops. That's why Natural Light's its name.
Sure, if they added anything artificial, they wouldn't call it natural. Taste Natural Light. The difference is what we put in and don't put in.
Here you are, Mr. Johnson.
No.
Now she can call me Johnson.
Is luxury obsolete? Not at all. It's here in Lincoln Continental, 1980. All the traditional look and feel of luxury driving, totally redesigned to be trim and efficient, with a dramatic 41% increase in EPA estimated miles per gallon over last year. And as standard equipment, an ingenious new automatic overdrive transmission. Lincoln Continental, 1980. Town car and town coupe.
Next Saturday at 4:30 Eastern on the CBS Sports Spectacular. Come to the slopes of Val d'Isère, France for highlights of World Cup skiing and more.
The intent, Don Coryell looking on, head coach of the San Diego Chargers, as Atlanta prepares to kick off. 43 yards on the drive. It took the Falcons 7 plays to get home. Artie Owens at the goal line taking Mazzetti's kickoff back to the 15, 20, across the 30 to the 31-yard line.
You know, we were talking about that drive earlier of the Atlanta Falcons and why it was so important to have a capacity crowd here in San Diego. They're all dressed in their gold T-shirts. They have the playoff fever. And I think one way to kind of calm down those crowds is to get ahead early, get a good start, and then make them play from behind.
Here come the Chargers, 3 wide receivers. That tell you anything? They're going to put it up.
They're ready to.
Joyner, no hit, screen to the 35, 40, 45, out of bounds at the 46-yard line. Charlie Joyner, at the age of 32, having his best year ever in pro football. He caught 9 last week against Kansas City.
And the blocker
he's not getting
out.
older, he's getting better, right?
That's right. And the blocker out in front of him is big Russ Washington. Number 70 we see here out leading the play there, and he got out and got that corner block so that Charlie Joyner was able to make the game.
Russ is in your league, in the gourmet league department, I would say.
And he's pretty good. They had dinner last night for the offensive linemen. They were all there last night except Russ Washington. Didn't let him come.
First and 10. Chargers at their 46. Thomas taking the pitch from Fouts to the 48-yard line. You know, Fouts is no dummy. He takes the line out the night before the game instead of some of these guys that wait till they gain 1,000 yards. Huh?
That's smart. You know, a lot of them wait until they've gained 1,000 yards and they've had a good day or been player of the year, and they take their offensive line out. Dan Fouts takes them out the night before the game, as we see a final here. Chicago Bears 14, Tampa Bay nothing.
So Tampa Bay will have to wait yet another Sunday before clinching that playoff berth in the NFC Central Division. Second down 8. Fouts to Thomas. 50. Down to the 47-yard line.
That's complete to Mike Thomas.
That'll leave third down and about 3. You think Tampa Bay's choking a little bit right now?
I think they're feeling some pressure. You know, it's a combination of one is all they need, and they've had that same combination now for 2 weeks. The combination, of course, being they need a win or the loss of the Chicago Bears, either one of the two, and for 2 weeks they haven't been able to get it.
Doug Williams threw 4 interceptions in that game. Third down 3. Chargers at the 47 of Atlanta into Falcon territory for the first time this afternoon. Good protection for Fouts. Spears Joyner for the first down at the 42-yard line.
Again, this is the thing. They brought Joyner underneath on that play. They had the other receivers going deep, and we're going to see the blocking here. Again, this is really what it's all about is the pass protection. If you give a quarterback like Dan Fouts time, he's going to find something. I have a lot of respect for those offensive linemen, because if they can get that done, then the passing game is relatively easy.
Eagles clinch a spot in the playoffs. They become the first team in the NFL. They can do no worse than the wild card now as they swamp Detroit 44-7. First down, San Diego. Clarence Williams to the 41-yard line. Pickup of 2. It'll be second down 8 before Jeff Yates, number 79, made the stop.
I know one thing, San Diego isn't getting the yardage on the running game that they would like. They would like to be able to run on a first down and create a 2nd and 4 or 2nd and 5. And again, Atlanta is playing very strong run defense.
Again, Bob Klein, the tight end, comes out, and the Chargers go with 3 wide receivers. John Floyd, a rookie, third-round draft choice. The third wide receiver, that's Joyner in motion. From the 42 of Atlanta, Fouts cranks it up over the middle. Thomas, 45, 40, 35, and down to the 30-yard line of the Falcons. First down for the Chargers. Boy, they got a lot of weapons.
They sure do. They mix the ball around. And one thing that they're starting to do, Frank, as we see the play again, is they're putting receivers deep. They had 3 wide receivers. They put them all deep, and Thomas again crossed underneath the linebacker coverage, as we see here. And I think they're trying to drive those linebackers deep, drive the secondary deep, and throw the ball and complete in front of it.
Ball is marked at the Atlanta 29. First and 10, San Diego. Bounce. All by himself is Joyner. 1 yard line. First and goal, San Diego.
That was one time that he didn't throw under the coverage that time. He figured he had enough of that throwing the short ones underneath the coverage. This is what we call a corner pattern. Joyner comes in like he's going to the inside and then runs back out to the corner. It was a form of double coverage zone. He got by the front man, then he drove the second man to the inside, making him think he was going to the inside or the post, and turned back and went out to the corner. A great pattern by Charlie Joyner.
That's 3 catches for 43 yards here in the first quarter for Joyner. Williams and Hank Bauer, short yardage specialist down the backfield. It is Bauer trying to go over the top. I do not believe he got in. Official timeout here as they unpile. Bauer, former free agent out of Cal Lutheran College up in Thousand Oaks. He went to college right under the nose of the Dallas Cowboys, who train at Thousand Oaks.
And he's their special teams captain and a real inspiration to them. And he's always been a short yardage and goal line runner because he's that tough type of player that I had. He's a lot like Pete Banaszak, who played for the Oakland Raiders.
Second and goal from the 1. Bauer. Touchdown.
Got that one in, and the cannon goes off. And we have something here now.
A lot of gold up in there, Hills. A lot of those gold San Diego t-shirts all over the place.
The thing here, Bob Klein made a great block on that play, and they really didn't.
He didn't make it by much if he did, I'll tell you that.
If he did, it was just.
He might have got across, and then they shoved him back. But it's a matter of inches. Mike Wood with the extra point try. This football game is tied. 1:20 left to play in the first period. We'll look at it again. See if he got across here. What do you think?
We're gonna, all he has to do is break the play. And supposedly, the way the officials call it, they're right on the line of scrimmage, and it's like a plane of glass. It's like if it would break the glass, he's over. And
he's got to be above it.
He is. I think he is.
It's a tough call, but a touchdown it is for San Diego, and this football game is tied at 7-all. Tonight on CBS, brand new edition of 60 Minutes. Then at Archie Bunker's place, Man of the Year Archie is left holding the bag. Great comedy on One Day at a Time, Alice and the Jeffersons, and then Gonzo battles a chicken burger tycoon on Trapper John MD tonight. Great
what
Sunday night
tycoon?
lineup. A chicken burger. You got to watch it to find out, John. I don't know.
That's a different type of tycoon.
That's true. Wood will kick off. Here's a reject from the St. Louis Cardinals, who was picked up by San Diego when they were having place-kicking problems earlier this year, and has come out and done a remarkable job. 7 out of 9 field goals. They tried Roy Girella, the former Steeler, for a while, and Roy just couldn't do it. And so they had another audition and went to Wood. He's done an excellent job. Dennis Pearson, 4 yards deep. Interesting story about what happened to their original place kicker, Ralph Bruneshke. Got very seriously ill.
Yes, he did. In fact, he came very close to death. He was in the hospital for a long time. He's out now. In fact, he's at the game today, and he looks very good.
They sent him down with the specialty team captains. He had 2 operations. They needed a lot of blood. In fact, they had a call for blood here in San Diego a week or 2 ago and had a tremendous response from the public. Just tremendous.
These people in San Diego are great fans of fine people.
First and 10. Atlanta from the 20-yard line. Andrews picking his way upfield to the 23. Rookie running back William Andrews. Of course, you spent, what, 3 years on Coryell's staff at San Diego State?
3 years at San Diego State with Don Coryell. And
you saw the stadium go up.
Yes, I did. In fact, it was just a hole when I was here, but I have a lot of respect for that man. He's a real winner. And you talk about intensity. He's ready to go on Monday.
Great comeback by the Redskins. They were trailing 21-7 at halftime of that game. You don't think they played a second half? Stand back. Have having a little problem at the line of scrimmage. Nothing there. It'll be 3rd and 10. Leroy Jones, number 68, filling the hole.
Charger defense is starting to tighten up a little now. I think that first drive and that score embarrassed him. I was looking at the sidelines when the defense came off, and we're talking about Don Coryell. He was down in the sideline, and he was really trying to get him going. And it looks like it's been effective.
3rd and 8. Falcons at their 22, and Bartkowski goes to the pass. Andrews had some running room, but couldn't hold it.
I don't think he had enough running room anyway. That's one thing. When it's 3rd and 8, I've always liked to get the ball upfield. I never like to throw it behind that and assume that the player is going to run 8 or 9 yards.
There's the gun. That's the end of the first quarter here at San Diego Stadium with our score. The San Diego Chargers 7 and the Atlanta Falcons 7.
Julie ready to go?
Are you kidding? Hey, you want to play hockey? We got a new TV scoreboard game from Radio Shack.
Sure.
Radio Shack's fast-action TV games. Play hockey, tennis, squash, and more. Easy hookup to any TV.
I'm ready.
A great gift idea. And they're on sale. 6-game model, just $29.95. 4-game model, $19.95. An exciting entertainment bargain for year-round fun. The sale price TV games. Only at Radio Shack.
America, the world is waiting.
Healthy spaces, glowing faces, a life that's full of life.
Your world is waiting, and Visa is there.
You're traveling, you're moving, you're giving more to life.
Wherever life is good, you're making it better. And Visa is there for traveling, shopping, and cash. Visa is the most widely recognized name in the world. Visa, we're keeping up with you.
We're not exactly alike. I'm wearing JCPenney plain pockets jeans, and I'm wearing the world's best-selling jeans. My jeans are made of tough, heavy denim with good looks and great styling. And mine have this fancy stitching on the back pocket.
But plain pockets only cost you $12.
JCPenney plain pockets. The big difference between us and them is the pocket and the price. I'll buy lunch.
There's a story out of New York in the past week that Lehman Bennett might be in trouble this year, but that has been flatly denied. Falcon management is behind him all the way, and the problems of the Falcons have not been placed on Mr. Bennett's shoulders.
And it should have been denied. I'm glad that, in fact, it was denied.
4th down. Opening play of the second period. John James to punt for the Falcons. Bad kick. Bounces at the 50, gets an Atlanta roll to the 38-yard line. Picked up there by Fuller and returned to the 43. We'll be back here in San Diego shortly.
Look what's happened to home heating and air conditioning costs. Up and up. Up over 80% in 5 years. But there's a way you can fight back in your attic. Add another layer of pink Owens Corning fiberglass insulation. Ask your dealer or contractor how much more you need. Fight back against rising fuel costs. Get Owens Corning fiberglass insulation now. It's cheaper than oil.
Jefferson at the 25, down to the 15-yard line. First down, San Diego. Well, we told you we'd be back shortly.
That's right, we'd be back, and we're coming back with some excitement. They had 3 wide receivers again on that play, and as we see the play again, Dan Fouts drops back. He fakes that screen or hitch pass out to the right, and he throws the post in here to the middle. The safety took a bite on the hit. That means he started over to go for that hitch or screen pass, and they got in the middle in the vacated area.
39 yards on the pass play and a first down at the 14-yard line of Atlanta. And Fouts calling the signals for the Chargers, fumbles the football. San Diego gets it back. Loss of a couple of yards in the play, back to the 16. Fouts is now 7 out of 7, making 8 out of 8 for 126 yards. Not a bad start.
Nope, he's had it. I wonder, you know, his wife had a baby yesterday.
That's right.
It was their second.
Little girl.
I wonder if that had anything to do with being 8 for 8.
I don't know, but he is starting off on the beam.
Well, he's had a fine year this year. He started off a little too soon on the beam on that last play because he left the ball with the center.
Loss of 3. It'll be second down, 13. Ball is at the Atlanta 18. Bob Klein, the tight end, in motion. Bounce. Pass intended for Mike Thomas, and Thomas had his man beat, and Thomas obviously felt that he should have caught it. Dewey McClain, number 52, the linebacker, was back there with him. I want to remind you, coming up at halftime, we will have a special report on the Iranian situation and also a report on the departure of the Shah of Iran from New York to Texas.
That pass to Thomas was very interesting. And it's the second time that he did the same thing. He started working underneath earlier in the game, and then he started to bring the Atlanta defense up. And now he's running the same patterns, but instead of throwing to the underneath the short man, he's throwing deep.
Third and 13. Fouts got all the time in the world. Finally drops it off to Joyner. And Joyner couldn't hold it at the 10-yard line.
It was very good coverage by the Falcons secondary. He was trying to go deep to John Jefferson in the end zone, and he waited and waited. Jefferson ran a corner pattern. The Atlanta Falcons had him double teamed, and Fouts still expected Jefferson to beat him, but he didn't. Then he had to come off to a secondary receiver.
Wood is on to try the field goal. This will be a 35-yard attempt with 13:04 left to play in the first half. It's good. Hammered it right through the middle. So the Chargers take the lead for the first time this afternoon as they lead the Falcons 10-7.
Look what's happened to home heating and air conditioning costs. Up and up. Up over 80% in 5 years. But there's a way you can fight back in your attic. Add another layer of pink Owens Corning fiberglass insulation. Ask your dealer or contractor how much more you need. Fight back against rising fuel costs. Get Owens Corning fiberglass insulation now. It's cheaper than oil.
You know, words are confusing. In bowling, a strike is good. In baseball, it's terrible.
That's right.
Take the word natural as in natural light beer. It means just one thing. This brew is beer with nothing artificial. It has only natural ingredients with lots of barley malt for a fuller taste and a less filling beer.
You better believe it.
Taste Natural Light. The difference is what we put in and don't put in. Sure, Natural Light tastes great, and you can open the top without disremembering the can.
The Chargers passing game started to show their muscle here in the second period of play. Dan Fouts now 8 out of 10 on the afternoon, and San Diego with the lead 10-7 for the first time. Pearson is deep. Dennis Pearson at the 6-yard line. 10-15. Down at the 16. Good pursuit by the Chargers specialty teams. Jerome Dove, number 48.
Jerome Dove, he was one of my ex-players with Oakland. I'll tell you, that was a very good coverage. We always felt that if you could stop them inside the 20, that's good coverage. And we looked here at 5 plays that last drive for the score with the Chargers.
First and 10, Atlanta at the 16-yard line. Markowski and the draw to Andrews. Andrews close to the 25-yard line. Picks up 8 on the carry. Bob Horn, number 55, the young middle linebacker, finally made the stop.
He's something, that William Andrews. We stayed at the same hotel that the Falcons did, and he and I were on the elevator coming down this morning, and we'd been watching a game in Buffalo where it was snowing, or Cleveland, I guess it was snowing, and I said, gee, you don't have any excuses out here today? And he said, nope, I feel great, and I'm ready to go.
That's one thing about him. He rarely drops the football. He did have a couple of fumbles against New Orleans last week. We understand it's the first time he's lost a fumble this year. It is Standback roaring through the left side behind some excellent blocking to pick up the first down at the 29-yard line. Preston and Horn making the stop. Good blocks by Scott and by Mike Kent leading the way.
I think one thing that's important in the first half is Atlanta really doesn't have to answer that three-point field goal by the Chargers, but they just want to keep the ball, get some drives. Don't let the thing get out of hand.
First and 10 from the 29-yard line. Stand back in motion. The fake to Andrews. Out to stand back it comes to the 30-35. And stand back is crunched at the 36 by Preston, number 52.
That's complete. Number 24.
Williams, number 29, also over there.
Gain of 6
He
yards.
put stand back in motion, and he just went to the sideline and stopped and waited. And then Bartkowski looked downfield and then threw it out to stand back. As we see a final here, the New York Jets 30, Baltimore 17. And those Jets scored some points.
Pickup of 6. It is 2nd and 4 for the Falcons at their 36. They give it to Andrews, and he gets the 4. And a couple of more as he moves it across the 40 out to the 42-yard line. Watch him here. Boy, he runs hard.
I know he does. You know what impressed me? He's the only back in the backfield. There's no other back because they were in a wing formation, but there's no one leading on that. They had some good blocks at the line of scrimmage, but William Andrews did a lot of that on himself. He's tough to bring down.
Steve Bartkowski, 13 touchdowns, 15 interceptions on the year. Well, Pittsburgh got its revenge against Cincinnati for that loss earlier in the season. Bartkowski, intended for Andrews, incomplete. You were talking to Coryell yesterday. He wasn't looking at this thing as any kind of a breather, was he?
No, not at all. You know, we talked about how intense Don is, and I really feel that he's right. When you're 10-3 and he has a one-game lead in his division, every game to him is a championship game, and that's the way that Don approaches it. And I'll guess you, he's not going to relax. He may relax about 2 o'clock tomorrow morning, and then he'll get intense for the next one. Watch it.
2nd and 10. Andrews out to the 45. Just running over people to the 48-yard line.
Glieber Young, the defensive left tackle of the Chargers, had him right at the line of scrimmage. He reached out an arm, and an arm isn't sufficient to bring William Andrews down.
It'll be 3rd down, a long 4 needed for the first down.
This is a passing situation. Short yardage is really 3rd and 2 or less. When you get 3rd and 3 or 4, that's a long yardage situation. This is a very important one there. 19-16 for Denver.
That Denver game doesn't help San Diego at all. Now the Chargers need this one to stay tied in the division. Andrews to the 50, down to the 45. Steamrollers inside the 40 to the 37-yard line. Wilbur Young on the pursuit, along with Glenn Edwards, number 27, making the stop.
As we're going to see it again here, I never did like to throw the ball again on 3rd down behind the line of scrimmage, but I guess if you have a guy like William Andrews out there catching it and running it, that's a pretty good play. We're going to watch Wilbur Young here. He's big. He must weigh 310 pounds, but watch him run and pursue this and catch Andrews from behind. That's an amazing effort.
Back to live action. First down at the 37 of San Diego. Stand back, trying to get outside. And an excellent block thrown on the way by Andrews. Clearing the way. He lost the ball out of bounds, but of course Atlanta will retain possession and pick up a couple of yards on the play.
That's the first time that anyone handled it, I think, on this drive, other than William Andrews. It was kind of William Andrews versus the San Diego Chargers. There's
Cleveland,
another final.
I guess that's an upset, isn't it?
Yeah,
but Cleveland's really been playing well this year, hasn't
they? They really have.
They've got to be certainly one of the surprise teams in the NFL. That keeps them in the running for a playoff picture. Mayberry, James Mayberry, number 39, has now come into the Atlanta backfield. 2nd and 10, Jenkins at the 29, 25, 20. Alfred Jenkins took a pretty good shot after making the catch, but kept right on going, and he's got a first down, and the Falcons are on the move.
Well, it was a nice move here, but he's really 2 missed tackles because they both thought the other one had him, and instead of wrapping their arms around him and taking him down, they both tried to give a shoulder. We watched the pass protection here, and again, where it all starts, excellent pass protection. They can use their hands, that's legal, and they do a good job of using their hands.
Nose of the ball just inside the San Diego 20. First down. Bartkowski gives the stand back, and he is wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage. No fooling Gary Johnson, number 79. And he blew through there to make the stop at the 24. Loss of 4 in the play. It'll be second down, 14.
That was one that they didn't want at that time, where they get that second, and it's a long 14 yards. And Steve Bartkowski is yet really to throw the ball deep. He's been throwing it short to the backs, and somewhere he's going to have to get it up the field.
Bartkowski over the middle, intended for Wallace Francis at the 20-yard line. Actually, the Falcons had 2 wide receivers, Francis and Jenkins, almost in the same spot.
Number 27, Glenn Edwards, was there, and he's tough to throw in the middle on. He's going to be right there. Glenn Edwards, we played against him for years and years with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he's a lot like Jack Tatum. When someone comes into that middle, they're going to be met by Mr. Edwards.
Andrews comes back into the lineup. Third down. Let's call it 15 for the first down. Ball is at the 24-yard line of San Diego. Chargers leading 10-7. Bartkowski, quick pass over the middle, intended for standback. Incomplete.
I think somewhere Steve Bartkowski is going to have to start taking some shots up the field or into the end zone. 3rd and 15, and again, still trying to throw underneath those linebackers. At some point, especially on 3rd down, you have to make something happen.
Makes it a little hard on your wide receiver, sending him over the middle all the time, too.
Of course, the San Diego defense, I'm sure, has something to say about that.
Mazzetti with a 42-yard field goal attempt as he tries to tie it up. It is no good, off to the right. So the Chargers will get it back at the line of scrimmage with 7:10 left to play in the first half.
Looking for a little excitement?
Cougar. More.
For the 1980s, Lincoln Mercury unleashes a striking new cat. New Cougar XR7, Lincoln Mercury's newest symbol of driving excitement. Lean and trim, with 64% better estimated MPG than 1975, and a new automatic overdrive transmission is available.
Cougar. More than ever.
So very luxurious, with plush new fabrics. So innovative, with new electronic cat options. With a finely tuned suspension for cat-like handling. For the 1980s, Lincoln Mercury unleashes the striking new Cougar XR7.
Cougar. More than ever.
This is your year for the cat.
Next Saturday and Sunday at 3:30 Eastern, it's the exciting Mixed Team Golf Championship with top female and male pros competing.
We're looking forward to being in Tampa for the golf next week. Don't forget, at halftime, we'll have a special report on the Iranian situation and a report on the departure of the Shah from New York. 10-7, Chargers lead. San Diego, 1st and 10 from their 24-yard line. Bob Klein, the tight end, in motion. Dan Fouts back to throw it. Pass is complete up to the 29-yard line. Short yardage on the play to John Jefferson, number 83.
Fulton Kuykendall was right there, and all 3 of them arrived about the same time, and that could have been an interception. That was good coverage. That was just thrown in there. Those things happen. Sometimes you have good offense and you have good defense at the same time.
Jefferson, number 4 receiver in the AFC, with 51 catches, coming in for 883 yards. One of the great long ball threats in the National Football League. Pickup of 6 in the play, 2nd and 4. Chargers from the 30. Trying to get outside is Owens, and Owens met at the line of scrimmage, and not much there. Rick Bias came up, forced the play. Owens, former wide receiver, has been converted to running back.
And they were trying to get Artie Owens outside on the sweep. They had left guard Doug Wilkerson out there leading, and he didn't make a block. He missed a block, and of course the Atlanta defense pursuit got there and made the tackle for not a big gain.
Third down, actually nothing. Third down, still 4. Needed for the first down for the Chargers at their 30. Under 6 minutes left to play in the half. Klein in motion. Fouts in trouble, gets it away. Very close for the first down. Jefferson, number 83. Former Arizona State All-American. You notice John Jefferson wears those goggles under his helmet. He got poked in the eye last year, had a detached retina, and more for protection than anything else, he has gone to wearing the goggles, though they are prescription goggles. Now San Francisco looks like it's going to win the race for the #1 draft choice, doesn't it?
The 13th loss.
First and 10 for the Chargers at the 35. Fouts dumps it off to Lydell Mitchell. Mitchell hit at the line of scrimmage by Greg Brazina, stumbles forward to the 40-yard line. There was a 5 on the play, and Brazina was shaken up.
As we see, they're coming in to check Greg Brazina. Of course, we hope everything's all right there. But an interesting thing is that, you know, we always talk about the Atlanta blitzing. They really haven't done any yet. They've been playing a straight defense. They've been playing it very well.
People always say you talk funny, but when you talk about Natural Light beer, you make sense. To all my fans and fannies, I thank you. Natural Light does have a taste all its own, because there's nothing artificial in this beer. Just the finest natural ingredients, including lots of barley malt, for a fuller taste and a less filling beer. Look at it.
Taste Natural Light. The difference is what we put in and don't put in.
This is no laboratory light beer. This is Natural Light.
Some guys never learn. They're still taking it on the chin. Gotcha. Norelco offers the Norelco rotary razor. Not 1 or 2 blades, but 36 blades inside 3 adjustable floating heads and a unique shaving angle for a very close shave without a nick or cut. So say hello to the Norelco rotary razor and say goodbye to Gotcha.
As Brazina, number 50, he got up and trotted off the field under his own power, apparently just winded. As we head back to play, it is second down 7 for the Chargers at their 38-yard line. 4.5 minutes remaining in the first half. They lead 10-7. Here they come. Fouts gets it away, trying to lay it out there for Lydell Mitchell at the 50-yard line and have him run underneath it. Lydell couldn't quite get there.
He looks like he's complaining, but it looks like to me that Lydell Mitchell pushed off. If anyone pushed off, he had his left hand up, pushing off on the linebacker. The Atlanta Falcons went into their 3-man defensive line, and that's an interesting thing. They use a 4-man line on the running downs, and then they go to the 3-man line on the passing downs. And this is where a lot of their blitzes come in, with the 3-man line.
It's an interesting point you brought up, though, the fact that they're noted so much for their blitzing, and they really haven't blitzed at all. They're playing it very conservative.
Here it comes, though.
3rd and 7. Fouts to Joyner. He had Joyner open at the 50-yard line and led him a little too much.
True, we just said they hadn't blitzed, and the minute you said they put them all up there in the line of scrimmage, and they gave it. That was their first blitz, and I think that's one thing that they want to do, is not get into a situation where they're blitzing all the time, but just playing solid defense and having a mixture.
Jeff West, whose first punt traveled just 32 yards. Chargers had a chance to make the playoffs today. Had Houston beat Cleveland, but that didn't happen. Big rush of the Charger punter. He gets it away. Billy Rickman at the 30-yard line for Atlanta. And Rickman is stopped in his tracks, and we get a penalty marker thrown. What could that be? Face mask or something?
It could be. That's one time when it's tough on those punt returners. The Atlanta Falcons went for a block. That means they had all 10 men up on the line of scrimmage, and there's only one returner back there. And he really doesn't have much help. Once they get by, he has 10 people coming down on him, and he doesn't have any blockers.
That's the true meaning of lonely. Here's the walk-off, and we'll get the call from the referee.
I think it was a late hit. They all got there about the same time. There was 7 or 8 Chargers there.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 40, kicking team during the return. First down.
Right, they had about 7 or 8, as we see, all the Chargers getting there at the same time with the no blockers, you see, and then we're going to see it coming in late right there and trying to get him once he was down. So that'll give the Atlanta Falcons good field position.
Winners go with winners. Winners rent from Hertz, because number 1 offers services most others don't, like Hertz Express Car Return. You just drop the keys to your Mustang, LTD, or other fine car and go. Your statement is mailed the same day. No wonder the presidents of over 80% of America's top 500 companies carry Hertz cards.
Hi, OJ.
Hello, Dick. Hertz, where the winners rent.
It's that time of day when you can say, come on and head for the mountains. The taste is smooth and waiting for you.
Here's to a beer brewed slow, cold, and natural for a taste as smooth as its name. Busch.
Head for Busch Beer. Head for Busch Beer.
Next Saturday on the CBS Sports Spectacular, it's highlights of World Cup skiing, plus highlights of the 9-ball pool championship, and a report from Yugoslavia on the Monty Parloff and Marvin Campbell fight.
A little bit of everything on the CBS Sports Spectacular next Saturday. After the penalty walk-off, 1st and 10 Atlanta from its 44. Bartkowski goes to Andrews over the middle. Stopped at the 48. Pick up a 4 in the play. Ray Preston and Bob Horn make the stop. Chargers 10-3 coming in. That matches the best record in pro football.
He was stopped by number 55, Horn.
The Atlanta Falcons are playing very well today, and the Chargers use a defense where they put both of their outside defensive backs, cornerbacks, up tight on the wide receivers, but I still think you can get the ball to them.
2nd and 6 from the 48. Haskell standback in motion. Bartkowski on a busted play carries it back close to the line of scrimmage. Leroy Jones, number 68, making the stop. These two teams, of course, meet very rarely. They met out here back in 1973, and Atlanta won it by a score of 41-0. That was, as I recall, Dan Fouts was either a rookie or in his 2nd year, and a very, very bad afternoon.
It sure was. We come up 3rd and 6 now on that play. William Andrews went the wrong way. It was supposed to be a running play to the right, and William Andrews went to the left and left Bartkowski with the ball. That's lonely.
From the Falcon 48, Bartkowski pumps it once, and he is going long for Jenkins. Jenkins at the 15, great diamond catch. He is down at the 11-yard line. 1st down. Jenkins having a great afternoon and now has caught balls today in 55 straight consecutive games.
That was a great pass and a great catch. We were talking about, you know, the fact that Steve Bartkowski would start working to his outside receivers and deeper, and he did just that on this 3rd down situation. He faked or pumped over the middle to hold Glenn Edwards, number 27, the weak safety, and that allowed Jenkins to get the step on Edwards.
1st and 10 at the 11-yard line. 2 minutes, 7 seconds left to play in the 1st half, and the Falcons with a chance to take the lead prior to intermission. We get the whistle and the 2-minute warning before the Falcons got the play off. 2 minutes exactly left to play in the 1st half. What's been a very tight football game thus far here at San Diego Stadium. Chargers lead the Falcons 10-7, but it is Atlanta on the move right now. We'll be back in San Diego right after this.
When you have questions like these about your money, get professional answers.
I just got a great new job and a new apartment, but I need so many things. How do I establish credit?
With the kids out of school, our savings are beginning to grow. But should we keep it all in a savings account?
What else can we do?
Keep your checking and savings at a full-service bank and get professional answers to your financial questions. America's full-service banks. We've got the answers.
Frank Glieber with John Madden back in San Diego, California. 2 minutes left to play in the first half of this NFL interconference game. There's the Falcons trying to uphold the honor of the NFC. Been tough times this year. The AFC leads the NFC 31-11. It's a little bit lopsided. The Falcons are 0-3 against the AFC West this year. Oakland, Seattle, and Denver have all beaten them.
Sure is the other thing. I think the Falcons would like to keep the ball for a while here. The 2 minutes is really a long time, and I think they would like to keep it, get a score, and not give it back to San Diego with a lot of time.
1st and 10 for the Falcons at the 11-yard line. Francis starts in motion. Bartkowski back to throw. Andrews at the 5. Andrews dragging the tackler down to the 1-yard line.
I think he dragged him into the end zone.
Yes, he did.
It's a touchdown. That William Andrews is a strong player. He can, you know, they run the ball to him in the middle. They throw it to him and out to the outside. And once he catches that ball, he's very difficult to tackle. I'm impressed with William Andrews.
Watch it again.
As we see it, it's just a flat pattern to Andrews again. The linebacker dropped to the inside. That's really a zone play where the corner has to come up, and he was outside with the receiver.
That was Willie Buchanan who tried to stop him from going into the end zone, but Andrews was too much. Mazzetti tacks on the extra point, and the Falcons once again take the lead by a score of 14-10 with 1:52 left to play in the half.
As we see it again, and the one thing that I think has really been impressive today is the job that the Atlanta Falcon offensive line is doing in pass protection, because the San Diego Chargers have really given quarterbacks fits this year with their pass rush. I remember what they did early with Ken Stabler. I remember a few weeks ago with Terry Bradshaw. And but today the Falcons are really doing a good job of pass protection for their quarterback.
Bradshaw said it was the best pass rush that he had seen all season long. He got intercepted 5 times that afternoon as the Chargers beat Pittsburgh 35-7 and really got everybody's attention in the NFL. That could be the game of the year next Saturday in the NFC Eastern Division. The Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. All the action begins with the NFL Today with Brett, Jane, Herb, Jimmy the Greek at 12 noon. Bring you up to date at halftime, all the scores and that news special on late developments on the Iranian situation. Mazzetti kicking off. Owens from the 7, 15-20. Artie Owens is down at the 24-yard line.
Artie Owens takes the kickoff on the 6-yard
This half isn't over yet. There's 1 minute 47 seconds to go. The Chargers have 3 timeouts left, and that's a lot. It looks like Mazzetti may have been hurt on that play.
Favoring his left arm a little bit, as you can see.
That doesn't happen to kickers too often. You know, they don't
stay out of the way generally.
They do, and they don't hang around that training room.
What did you tell Oblanda after he kicked off? Just head to the sideline or what?
I didn't have to tell him. He just headed to the sideline.
Here comes Dan Fouts. Little swing pass after Williams to the 30, 35. We got a flag. Williams still dancing around out there. Is finally dropped at the 36 as we have a marker thrown.
And it looks like it's going to go for naught, because that's the area where it's usually a holding or clipping penalty, and that's going to go against the Chargers and put them back closer to their goal line.
Talking about Andrews doing a good job hanging onto the football. Williams is his counterpart on San Diego. He's handled the ball 197 times coming into this game and fumbled only once.
That's what you look for in running backs. That's one of the things, you know, you like them to be able to run well, which they all do. Blocking is very important, receiving, and then holding on to the ball.
Here's Gordon McCarter, the referee.
Illegal use of hands, number 56, receivers during the return. First off.
Bob Rush, the San Diego center. In there.
See, it's a screen pass, and he was out there leaning the screen, and he got his hand outside, and it was that left arm on that contact. I think they've already called it. Well, and then he pushed him from behind. He had about 3 on that one.
Only cost him 10 yards. First and 12. Pouts, screen. Pretty much the same play, wasn't it?
It was the same play. They came right back with the same play. Again, Dan Fouts doesn't call his plays. The offensive coordinator of the San Diego Chargers is Joe Gibbs. He calls them down to the sideline to Jim Hannafin, and Jim signals the plays in to quarterback Dan Fouts.
2 of the Falcons were shaken up on that play. Official timeout being called with 1:14 left to play in the first half. Ball is at the 34-yard line in San Diego's end of the field. They'll have a second down and less than a yard needed for the first down.
And what Dan Fouts was talking about when the player went down, when the official signaled timeout, the clock didn't stop and they ran a little time off.
Monday, the White Shadow gets a new star player and a great big problem. And on MASH, Klinger wishes he had 6 hands, and even at WKRP in Cincinnati, they have to worry about the ratings. There's good news and bad news tomorrow night. Finally, Ed Asner stars and Lou Grant, all on CBS. Great Monday night lineup. Trying to spot who that injured Falcon player was. Fulton Kuykendall. He didn't come in healthy, did he? He's been ailing for several weeks.
He's had some problems. He's an all-out player, and he's had a number of injuries this year. And he's one guy that gives everything he has, and of course he's banged up again.
It'll be 2nd and 1. Chargers at their 34. Fouts is conferred with the Don Coryell.
That was a free timeout. You know, they still have 1 minute, 14 seconds to go. 2nd and 1, and San Diego still has all 3 timeouts.
Here's Fouts. Jefferson at the 45 of Atlanta. The man they call JJ and Lord Jeff in San Diego. Wide receiver par excellence. Pulling down another one for a big first down at the 45 of the Falcons. And now the Chargers utilize their first timeout. Here in the first half, they've got 2 timeouts left and 1 minute and 2 as they try to get it on the scoreboard. And Fouts again comes over to the sideline. Don't forget 60 Minutes tonight when a black school teacher running for local office is charged with kidnapping on the eve of the election, and even the alleged victim says he didn't do it. You got to ask the question, was it a frame-up? Watch 60 Minutes this evening, 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
They're talking about that last pass there on the sideline and what they're going to do next. And one thing that they're having success with from their 3-wide receiver formation is the middle to Jefferson, and he's finding an area in there about 15 or 20 yards deep, and I would bet again with 2 timeouts that they'll come back to that same pattern. Maybe not this next play, but in the following series here, that play is going to come up again. Jefferson to the post or the middle. We see Lehman Bennett, I'm sure he realizes it. He's concerned about Jefferson getting in the middle.
First down. Chargers nose of the football just inside the Atlanta 45-yard line. Joyner in motion. Fouts under pressure. Hitting Williams. Short yardage to the 42-yard line. Resina making the stop. See if the Chargers call another time here.
They have taken a timeout, and that was the Atlanta Falcons called that by a good pass rush. Dan Fouts wanted to get the ball down the field where he would either get a bigger gain or get it towards the sideline. He was rushed, and he had to dump it off to Williams before he wanted to. He was tackled inbounds, of course. The clock would continue going, so they had to take a timeout. So now they have 52 seconds and 1 timeout remaining.
You've coached against Fouts, of course, Chargers and Oakland being in the same division for many years. What is your scouting report on Fouts? He doesn't have the greatest arm in the world, but he has the strongest arm.
No, and he doesn't have great mobility either. We always tried to give him a lot of pressure right up the middle because we knew that he wasn't going to roll out, nor would he scramble to the sides. And if you just had pressure from the outside. He's great at stepping up into the middle and throwing the ball. And against Fouts, we always wanted pressure right up the middle, right into his face. And that's probably what the Atlanta coaches are saying right now. They're pressuring him to get up in the middle because that's what they did on the last play.
Fouts is 14 out of 18 here in the first half for 164 yards. Second down, 7 from the Atlanta 41-yard line. Fouts, good protection over the head of Joyner at the 30.
The Atlanta Falcons defensive strategy again is to go with the 3-man line. They only rushed the 3 men, defended with 8. They had the 4 linebackers, the 4 secondary, and double everyone as opposed to blitzing or rushing the passer. And I really think that's smart.
There's the time remaining in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, 47 seconds. Chargers with 1 timeout here in the first half. They have a 3rd and 7 from the 41 of Atlanta.
350! 350!
Fouts steps up in the pocket and drills Joyner at the 25. Joyner down to the 23-yard line. Ray Easterling making the stop. No huddle by the Chargers as they run up to the line of scrimmage. Clock is still moving. Less than 30 seconds to go in the half.
That's
first down.
Play we're talking about in the middle.
Fouts goes to the sideline, completes this one at the 15. It's going to be close to another first down, and this one goes to John Floyd, number 86, rookie wide receiver. Now they'll stop that clock.
As we're going to see the last play here. Here again, it's to Floyd. He just runs a hook right to the inside, just stops, and he was trying to get out of bounds. As you see him look to the sideline, he couldn't. The Falcons did a good job of keeping him in. The San Diego Chargers have no timeouts left, so that means that they could throw at least 2 into the end zone from this position on the field. As we see Don Coryell conferring there with Dan Fouts and his coaches.
Get your field goal.
See what they'll do is again, they can't throw anything short. They can't throw it in the field. It has to be in the end zone where it'll either be a touchdown or it'll stop the clock because they're not going to have time to complete a pass or take a sack or keep the ball within the field of play and still get their field goal team on it. So every pass is going to have to go into the end zone from this point on.
It is second down, 2 for the first down, 14 for what would be the go-ahead touchdown. Chargers, no timeouts left. Falcons faking the blitz. Here they come. Quick throw. Joyner has it intercepted, taken right out of his arms by Roland Lawrence at the 11-yard line. I don't know if that was an interception or he just ripped it out of his arms.
I think he did. I think that Lawrence arrived there at the same time, and they both got their hands on the ball. Lawrence ended up with it. It was a great defensive play because, again, the Atlanta Falcons chose to blitz. As we see here, they were bringing everyone. It was one-on-one. They threw a slant, and as we see here, the ball did come out the backside, it looked like. That was great hands by Roland Lawrence.
He did that whole thing left-handed, didn't he?
I know it. We're going to see another look. The ball is a little behind and to the outside, and it starts to come out the backside. Lawrence goes to make the tackle, and then he ends up with the ball in his hand.
Of course, that was a gamble. We were talking about the fact that even Joyner catches it, he's going to be down at the 7-yard line or so, and now they've got only 10 seconds left to play in the half and no way to stop it.
I don't think that was the play they called in the huddle. I think when Atlanta showed the blitz, I think they audibilized to that pattern.
First and 10, Atlanta from its own 11-yard line. Chances are they'll just run out the clock here in the first half of play and retire to the locker room with that 10-7 lead. So good defense by the Atlanta Falcons as they force the Chargers to cough up the football.
Good defense, and they've had good offense. And again, I think one of the big keys besides William Andrews' play is the play and the pass protection of the Atlanta Falcon offensive line.
That's it, the end of the first half here at San Diego Stadium with the score. Atlanta 14, San Diego 10. We'll be back shortly.
Holidays were made for Michelob. Holidays were made for special friends.
What better beer than Michelob for the holiday season? Special enough to make the right impression, friendly enough to show you care. No wonder Michelob has become a holiday tradition.
Holidays were made for Michelob.
Yeah. From the beginning, Continental Mark has been one of the highest forms of automotive expression. Now there's a new mark, Continental Mark 6, with a remarkable 41% improvement in EPA estimated miles per gallon over last year, with a new automatic overdrive transmission, with even more room inside than last year. And now there's yet another new mark, the Mark 6 four-door. Continental Mark 6, still unmistakably Mark.
In just 3 years, audio buffs have made Pioneer speakers America's best-selling. Pioneer is also the leader in cassette decks. Over the years, our amps and tuners have received critical acclaim, as have our turntables. So, if you want a hi-fi system that's matched as carefully as it's engineered, get a component ensemble from Pioneer, because a component ensemble is only as good as the components ensembled. Pioneer, we bring it back alive.
Next Saturday at 4:30 Eastern on the CBS Sports Spectacular. Come with us to Val d'Isère, France for highlights of the steep competition of World Cup skiing. Plus, highlights of the finals of the Professional Pool Players 9-Ball Championship. And a report from Yugoslavia on the WBC's first international cruiserweight boxing championship between number 2 ranked Monty Parlope of Yugoslavia and the number 1 ranked contender Marvin Camel. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
Frank Glieber with John Madden back in San Diego. We're ready to get the second half underway. Chargers will be kicking off to the Atlanta Falcons. Mike Wood doing the honors. Dennis Pearson, who played his college football at San Diego State, returning for the Falcons. Really cracked at the 20-yard line. Dropped at the 21. It was Hank Bauer, number 37, who made the stop. So the Falcons will go to the attack first and 10 at their 22-yard line. First half of play, Bartkowski, 7 out of 12 for 180 yards. As you look at the halftime statistics, San Diego has the edge statistically, but of course the Falcons have the big edge where it counts. That's on the scoreboard as they lead it 14-10.
And then the yards rushing.
Charger fans really coming alive now. First and 10 from the 21. Andrews carries up to the 24-yard line. Well, we promised you John Hadel during halftime, and John has joined us here in the broadcast booth, and as we mentioned, Mr. Fouts has now broken your career passing yardage record. I guess that's about all of your records gone now, isn't it?
Well, that's what they're for, Frank, as you know, and Dan's done a great job all year long. He's a great quarterback.
Here's Bartkowski coming up to the line of scrimmage on second down 7 with the ball at the 24-yard line. Fake the stand back. He's got Francis. He hung onto the football. Glenn Edwards popped him at the 42-yard line. That's an Atlanta first down. What brings you back to San Diego?
Well, Frank, I'm here recruiting for Kansas University, and it's amazing. I'm recruiting some old teammates' sons. Ernie Wright's son is a great young football player, and I'm out looking at him.
I noticed you haven't grown any hair since you...
No, I tell you what, I haven't done very well in that area.
Well, how does it feel to come out here and watch this ball club back winners now since, well, first time since you left?
Well, it's great. They've done a great job. They're a great football team, and I hope they take it all the way.
First down, Falcons at the 43-yard line. Andrews up the middle after the 44. Of course, you guys relied a little more on the running game, didn't you, when you were around?
Well, I told somebody earlier we threw the ball every other down. No, they throw it every down, so it's a little more exciting.
Yeah, I'll tell you, they learned one thing from you, that we were at a restaurant last night, at George Pernicano's restaurant, and Dan Fouts had the entire offensive line out there, and they said they learned that from you.
Yeah, he learned real quick on that. He's very smart.
Do it before the game.
Second and 8, Atlanta from its 44-yard line. Andrews on the draw up to the 50. Pulls his way into San Diego territory at the 47. That's close to another Atlanta first down.
You know, as we see this from the end zone, I've really been impressed with Andrews. But again, the one thing, he's the only running back in the backfield. He does that without having a lead block, and that's really impressive.
He just runs over people.
And by some and around some.
That's a final score now. Kansas City 37-21. Seattle finally got the offense cranked up a little bit too late in that football game.
Looks like Kansas City got their offense cranked up. 37 points. That's a lot for anyone.
There's the measurement indicating that the Falcons did pick up the first down at the Charger 47-yard line. This town has really turned on now, though, John.
It really has. I can't believe the crowd, and it's the way it ought to be. It's a great town. It's a great football team. There's a lot of excitement here today.
First and 10. 47-yard line of the San Diego Chargers. Here come the Falcons. Francis wide to the right side. Alfred Jenkins. Split to the left. Back to throw it. Bartkowski with the fake and the give to Andrews.
William Andrews, the ball carrier. He was stopped by number
Thank you very much. John Hadel. John's got a little business to do, so he's going to leave us now, but it was nice visiting with him.
It was nice. It was good to see him again. We used to have some great games when John Hadel was the quarterback for the San Diego Chargers, and we were with the Oakland Raiders.
Second down, 6. Atlanta at the 43 of San Diego. Stand back and Andrews at the setbacks. Big hole for Andrews. And the rookie roars down inside the 30-yard line for yet another Atlanta first down. Boy, they come to play.
You will see the blocking here again. I'm impressed with the job that the Atlanta Falcon offensive line has been doing today. They're really getting off on the ball, and the Chargers aren't getting any penetration. They're sitting and waiting too much. And if you sit and wait and you have William Andrews in the backfield, he's going to make something bad happen to you.
First down. Atlanta at the 29 of San Diego. One setback, and that's Andrews. Bartkowski, bullet. Intended for Francis down at the 20-yard line. Francis has had a sensational year for the Falcons. There's a young guy that works hard, stays after practice.
He does. I was very impressed with him. We watched the Falcons practice yesterday, and he stayed out there and he ran patterns and caught the ball and stayed until he couldn't have anyone throw him the ball until everyone else went in. He was the last one to leave.
Second and 10, Atlanta from the San Diego 29-yard line. Falcons leading 14-10. We're early in the third period. Once again, just the single setback. Andrews. Quick hit screen. Pearson trying to find the handle. That was a hot number.
It was. Pearson was out there, and he knew that he had only run a pattern about 2 or 3 yards deep, and he wanted to make something out of it, and he started to wheel before the ball got there.
Third down, 10 for the Atlanta Falcons. Crowd chanting defense. Very noisy crowd here in San Diego. Capacity house of 52,000 on a beautiful sun-drenched Southern California afternoon. Temperatures in the 70s. Just gorgeous. And we get markers prior to the snap. 30-second clock may have run down on Bartkowski.
False start, number 66.
I was talking to Lehman Bennett yesterday, and he said that's been one of the things that have plagued his team this year are the penalties like that, the silly penalties in very tight situations.
Number 66, still third down.
That's against Warren Bryant, the right tackle, and Bryant has not had a good year for the Falcons. They expected more out of him.
I thought he was something special when he was at the University of Kentucky, but
third down, 15. Atlanta from the San Diego 34. Bartkowski goes upstairs. Intercepted, taken away by Buchanan. 30, 35, 40. Willie Buchanan run out of bounds at midfield, and San Diego takes over.
That was a big play for the San Diego Chargers. They needed something to turn this momentum around because the Falcons had it. They had it at the end of the half. Then they came back at the start of the third quarter, and the Chargers were looking for something like that. They got it from Willie Buchanan, as we're going to see it again. We were talking about Bryant. The one thing he's doing, though, is he is pass protecting well. And again, that was the same type of interception that we had on the other side just before the halftime. It was a big play for the Chargers and a big play for Willie Buchanan, and we'll be right back.
Introducing the 1980 Mercury Marquis.
Feel the Marquis ride.
The Mercury Marquis is not only spacious and comfortable, it has 70% better gas mileage ratings than 1975.
Feel the Marquis ride.
The 1980 Mercury Marquis. Come feel how well it's designed.
Feel the Marquis ride.
Holiday greetings from Budweiser. The people who bring you Budweiser wish you and yours a happy and safe holiday season.
Next Saturday and Sunday at 3:30 Eastern, it's the exciting Mixed Team Golf Championship with top female and male pros competing.
And that mixed doubles tournament, one of the most fun tournaments of the year down in Tampa. Be watching it on CBS. First and 10 Chargers from the 50. Fouts comes out throwing. Mike Thomas to the 40. Run out of bounds at the 33. 17 yards and a first down. Bias made the stop.
You wonder why Mike Thomas was open that much? This is a double zone where the corner back has that outside zone, Bias. He went down the field with the wide receiver, and as we see, there was no one out there to cover Mike Thomas or Mike Thomas's zone.
First and 10. San Diego at the Atlanta 33-yard line. The Chargers trail 14-10. Williams doing a little high stepping up the middle down to about the 30. Greg Brazina there to make the stop for the Atlanta Falcons.
Greg Brazina caught him right in the middle of a high step, too.
Knocked the wind out of you for a moment. 10.5 minutes remaining in the third period. Hey, you hear a lot about what's happened to this Falcon defense. They're down near the bottom statistically in the space of a year or two, but you have to consider last year, start of last season, their front four from last year to this year is entirely different. There are 4 new guys in there. And they've got a little age on. There's not much question about that. Second and 7. Fouts. Excellent protection. He's going to run it to the 25 and slides to a hole at the 21-yard line. First down, San Diego. Bias making the stop.
That was a nice slide, wasn't it? As we see the slide, he went in first just like he was going into second base. And like when you become a father, one day, the next day, you have to think about, taking some slides before those defenders get there. Watch, he's never been known to be a runner, but he does get the first down, and it's a hook slide.
Not bad at all. Actually, he came down close to the first base here at San Diego.
Well, he was safe.
Right. First and 10. Chargers on the move. Williams up the middle to the 19-yard line.
And again, the Chargers, they really would like to be able to gain something running. I think that scramble of Fouts there was probably their longest gain of today's game.
You think that's the one thing that could keep them out of the Super Bowl?
I really do.
Yeah.
I think that they're probably going to be in the playoffs, and then they have the playoffs and championship. But I think you have to be able to run the ball.
Second and 8. Nose of the ball just inside the 20. Falcons showing the blitz. Barkowski delivers it quickly, incomplete, intended for Thomas at the 14.
Well, Fouts saw that blitz coming, and the one thing that he knew, when you have the blitz coming, you're not going to be able to stand back there and look around and hold it for a long time. He got rid of it quickly, but it was just a little short and a little low.
That'll bring up 3rd and 8. That's a halftime score. Minnesota and the Rams are tied in the LA Coliseum.
Minnesota last week beat Tampa Bay, and they're a very much improved team.
Chargers going with 3 wide receivers. They've got Floyd in there in addition to the normal 2. Don Corio looks on anxiously from the Charger sideline. Bounce on 3rd and 8. Floyd for the touchdown. John Floyd, rookie wide receiver, with a great catch. A 19-yard touchdown. San Diego has reclaimed the lead.
Something. The fans are happy now, and the players are happy. We're going to watch the play again. Again, there was no blitz on this play. It was a zone type of coverage, and Faustus made an excellent throw to Floyd and got it in there.
Mike Wood on to try the extra point. 8 minutes, 30 seconds left to play in the 3rd period. We get some flags. Let's see who moved first.
Looked like Atlanta moved. I don't think San Diego moved yet. And if in fact, now that penalty will not be assessed here. They really don't want to take it here because it's on the 2-yard line. That penalty will be assessed.
Encroachment on the defense. It prevented the ball from being snapped. Therefore, the penalty will be carried over to the ensuing kickoff.
How about them apples?
Well, he said what I was going to say. When I was coaching, I was always one step ahead of those officials.
Mike Wood connects on the extra point try. And the Chargers are in command once again as they go for their 5th straight victory. We'll be back in San Diego after this.
Christmas, thrill the kids with exciting computer cam toys from Radio Shack. A great gift idea for boys and girls. Comes with changeable cams for 6 different driving maneuvers. Straight, zigzag, circle, square, and more. Action-packed fun, battery-powered safe, and a gift price. The Radio Shack trucks at $5.99, and the rates are only $4.99. Detailed replicas of the real thing. Keep them trucking with the computer cam truck and racer. Only at Radio Shack.
You've been off the job a long time, but you still had money coming in every month. You had a nationwide insurance disability income plan to help take care of things important to your family,
Everyone loves the trash.
and important to you. Part of Nationwide's blanket protection for your family or your business.
Nationwide is on your side.
Well, if the Chargers pull this one out, you can go back to that series. Perhaps the big turnover, Willie Buchanan's interception or steal, and the 50-yard drive culminating in the touchdown. Dennis Pearson would rather not, thank you. Touchback. So Atlanta gets the ball at the 20-yard line.
You know, those kickers kick the ball in the end zone. The happiest people are the cover men.
Got to be, right?
They are. They really don't like that. Look at that last drive. 6 plays, 50 yards, 2 minutes, 24 seconds. So when you give the Chargers a chance, you know, the big thing, as you said, was Willie Buchanan's interception, and then that just brought life to the team, the fans, everyone here in San Diego.
But keep in mind, Atlanta had taken that opening kickoff and moved the ball very nicely. Short yardage out to about the 24-yard line as Andrews, the workhorse, carries. Arkowski is now 10 out of 17 on the afternoon for 152 yards.
He's been throwing a lot underneath to his back to the outside, and we're going to see a shot here in the secondary, and I think he's going to have to get the ball outside to his wide receivers. But the one thing that has happened is we watch the left corner up there playing tight on his wide receivers.
On 2nd and 6, Bartkowski with the sideline throw upfield for the first down. Wallace Francis, number 89, Little Sean with the San Diego bench as he's run out of bounds by Ray Preston, number 52. Ball is at the 37-yard line of Atlanta.
You see Steve Bartkowski looking at the sideline. He was looking for Lehman Bennett, who signals the play now.
Cowboys were trailing 7-0 for most of the first half in that game. Now taking the lead away from the Giants, 14-7 in the third period. First and 10, Atlanta trailing 17-14. Falcons from their 37. Haskell stand back, trying to get outside. Not much running room up there. He carries to the 39. Woodrow Lowe, number 51, the former Alabama product, making the stop for the Chargers.
Woodrow Lowe's having a great year for the Chargers. I remember when he played at the University of Alabama for Bear Bryant. Bear Bryant told us all that Woodrow Lowe was something special. Everyone thought that Bear Bryant was just trying to give one of his players a job because he was only 6 foot, but the Bear was right.
He came rather cheap to San Diego, a 5th-round draft choice. It has started, though, since a rookie. On 2nd and 8. Mitchell, the tight end, the intended receiver. Again, Preston over there covering. Preston has been in a lot of plays. Falcons make no bones about the fact that they're looking for a young tight end, possibly in the draft next year. Mitchell, of course, beyond his prime. Both of these clubs sending plays from the bench via the signal room, don't they?
Yes, they do. A lot of teams send them in with players. Atlanta may have sent that in through a substitution, but they usually signal.
3rd down to 8. Bartkowski over the middle, Francis at the 45 and has enough for the first down to keep the drive going at the 48-yard line. Yeah, I've often wondered about sending in plays from the bench and utilizing the signals. You look at this again. How do you rehearse something like this? How do you know you can see them?
Well, they practice it. You know, in practice, if they signal plays in, as we see the replay here, they have to practice that. Lehman Bennett will stand behind the high. He'll call them in practice. He'll signal, and then they'll practice and run that play. It's the same thing with the San Diego Chargers. They practice calling plays.
Bartkowski going to Francis, and we get a penalty marker thrown well downfield. Francis was tracked by Fuller, number 42. The penalty marker was thrown on the opposite side of the field, a good 20 yards away.
And that's the official that watches the tight end, and it's probably going to be holding on the tight end against the San Diego Chargers. That deep official sees the tight end. When you see that flag thrown 30 yards like that, you know it has something to do with the tight end.
Get the call here from Gordon McCarter, the referee.
Holding, number 52, defense, yards, automatic first down.
I understand that there's an official working this game who had a very big part in your career. Is that true?
Jack Petty. I had one 15-yard penalty in regular season. I had a few in preseason, but in regular season it was by Jack Petty.
He's the head linesman in this game. From the 47-yard line in San Diego, Andrews carries to the 43. I think we got another flag. I heard it was a 30-yard.
Well, it was 30, but only 15. I complained it was against Jack Tatum, and then I complained about it, and they gave me 15.
Another penalty against San Diego. Like an offside call coming up here.
They have three things. It can be encroachment or offside.
I've never had them figure out the difference.
I don't know the difference.
You know the difference?
No, I don't know the difference.
I've often contended that some coaches and players really know less about the rules than most people.
He started to go the wrong way. You see that?
Number 68, defense, lined up offside, first down 5.
Leroy Jones, defensive end of the Chargers.
He wanted to get a head start, getting to Steve Bartkowski, so he lined up a little closer to him.
First and 5 from the 43-yard line of San Diego. 5:27 left to play in the third period. Andrews give up. They just keep coming. Down to the 31-yard line. Ray Preston and Bob Bourne make the stop.
William Andrews wouldn't give up either. He sure doesn't go down very easy. Now we're seeing the play. See, Lehman Bennett signaled the play with a group of hand signals into Steve Bartkowski, who will make the play in the huddle.
First down for Atlanta at the San Diego Charger 31-yard line. Bartkowski sending Francis wide to the right side. Jenkins off to the left. As that pass blocked up. Somebody got a hand up.
We're going to see it again. And the thing, in the signals, they have to include the formation and the play and the series and the whole thing. It's a very complicated thing, signaling offensive plays in from the sideline.
Bennett has kind of a checklist that he carries with him on the kind of a ready list.
And no headset. He's doing it all by himself. Most of those are talking to someone upstairs.
Second is 10 from the San Diego 31. Bartkowski lays it out. Francis with a great touchdown grab. And Atlanta has recaptured the lead.
That was a great pass, and that was a great ball by Lehman Bennett and a throw by Bartkowski. The San Diego Chargers were in a double zone where both safeties were going to the outside, and he hit them right up the middle, right between the safeties. It was a super call and a great catch.
Little revenge for Mr. Francis on Willie Buchanan, who took the ball away a moment ago.
One thing, you can never be too satisfied with yourself within a game when you make a good play, because you come right back in the next series and you beat it.
This has turned into quite a football game. 4 minutes and 40 seconds left to play in the third period. Back and forth. Mazzetti tacks on the extra point. And the Falcons have recaptured the lead as we play late in the third period at San Diego Stadium. 21-17. Back after this.
He's supposed to be under the steps.
I got it. Hey, here's a note. Gentlemen, my country estate is at your disposal. There might even be a little something in the refrigerator. Regards, Hank.
Let it be low and brown. Low and brown. When you want the taste of a truly great American beer, tonight, let it be low and brown. Here's the Hank.
Wherever he is.
Meet the family of high-mileage 1980 Mercuries, Zephyr, Bobcat, Capri. Ease on down with the high-mileage ratings of Mercury Bobcat, one of America's lowest sticker prices. Zephyr, great mileage ratings with a lot of room for the money. Or Capri, mileage with a sexy European look. Meet the high-mileage Mercuries at the Sign of the Cat.
Next Saturday on the CBS Sports Spectacular, it's highlights of World Cup skiing, plus highlights of the 9-ball pool championship, and a report from Yugoslavia on the Monty Parloff and Marvin Camel fight.
A little bit of skiing, a little bit of everything else on the CBS Sports Spectacular. Mazzetti's kickoff, fielded by Artie Owens out to the 10-15 across the 20 and up to the 23-yard line. And the Chargers know they're in a football game this afternoon.
They sure do. We were talking with Coach Don Coryell yesterday, and he was worried about this game. He's been talking now how strong the Falcons were and the things that they could do on offense and defense, and everyone was laughing at him, saying, "Oh, you don't mean that."
Right.
I think he did mean it, and it's being proven today.
One of the lines I heard this week was that San Diego was going to borrow a basketball scoreboard so they could go 3 digits.
Yeah.
Dan Fouts. And Owens open at the 50-yard line. Owens split the defenders. And Fouts overthrew it.
That was the same pattern. That was the same pass pattern Atlanta scored on. Look at the signals here.
This is the way that San Diego sends in their plays. Now that's Hannafin.
That's Jim Hannafin. He really puts a lot of in there. He gets the plays from the press box. Joe Gibbs is the offensive coordinator. calls him down to Jim, who signals him in to Dan Fouts.
Many of these assistant coaches were on Coryell's staff when he was at St. Louis, and some before that when he was at San Diego State. On 2nd and 10, Fouts. Thomas pops up the football, but I believe he got it back at the 30-yard line. Not enough for the first down. It'll be 3rd down and 3. And again, take a look at the play call coming in from the bench by virtue of hand signals.
You know, that's probably the formation there, and then that's probably the series, and that would be the pattern or the run or the blocking assignment.
You don't think that praying motion he gave there was, please get the first down?
Please work. please be a good call.
3rd down. Little less than 3 for the first down. Chargers at their 30. Clarence Williams and Lydell Mitchell are the running backs. Fouts completes it to Joyner for the first down and more at the 40-yard line. Charlie Joyner started off the ball game being one of Fouts' favorite receivers this afternoon, and then we really didn't see much of him in the second period. And really in the third period up until this point.
Again, it was the same type of thing that they had been doing earlier. They tried.
In the play, it'll be 2nd down 6. 2 minutes, 40 seconds left to play in the third period. San Diego's been penalized 4 times, 35 yards. Atlanta 3 times, 15 yards. Fouts is now 20 out of 28 for 260. Now keep in mind, if he goes over 300 today, he sets or ties an NFL record. Originally set by Joe Namath for most 300-yard games in a season. 6. Fouts scrambling out of the pocket. 45-50, trying to pick up the first down. And he looks like he's right on the money at the 48-yard line. In Atlanta's end of the field. Be very close for a first down. He went out of bounds right at the point where the chains are, so we got an official timeout. But obviously they don't have to move the chains very far. They're all huddled right in front of the San Diego bench, checking this possible first down out.
We just have to measure right there. You know, one thing you'd think it would be easy to see that, but the chain man there, and we see it short, it's going to be 3rd and very short yardage, but as the ball carrier starts to come towards the sideline, that man with the chains there throws it down. So he really doesn't know where the spot is until he picks it back up and they stretch the chains out again.
What you need is tough chain guys that'll stand there.
Just hang in there. Just hang in there. Don't worry about anything. Just hang in there and take on those blockers and defenders and everything.
Inches short of the first down. It'll be 3rd down and inches for the Chargers at the Atlanta 49. 1:57 left to play in the third period. Atlanta leading in an upset in the making, 21-17. Hank Bauer, short yardage specialist, has come into the backfield for the Chargers. Quarterback sneak. Fouts says, I'd rather do it myself.
Or someone said, why don't you do it yourself?
Maybe that's the way it goes.
I think Dan Fouts has probably run more with the ball in this quarter than he has the whole season. He's run 3 times with the ball in this quarter, and that's very much unlike Dan Fouts.
Been mentioned many times before. Of course, Fouts' dad is a broadcaster up in the Bay Area, and for many years a contemporary of ours, the voice of the San Francisco 49ers on television on CBS.
Hey, listen, Bob Fouts.
1st and 10. Chargers at the 48. Williams, 50, 45, down to the 40-yard line. Great individual effort by Clarence Williams, who looked like he might be stopped at the line of scrimmage.
You see this again, you know, both teams have been doing a good job of pass protection. The quarterbacks have been relatively free for time to throw the ball, and again, that's where it all starts. But once you get that ball, it sure draws a crowd, doesn't it?
Absolutely. We're down to the final 20 seconds of the third quarter. 2nd down, 3 for the Chargers at the Atlanta 40-yard line. Pouts in trouble and dragged down for only the second time this afternoon back at the 47-yard line.
We're just talking about the great pass protection, and then it breaks down. It looks like that was Russ Washington. Estes on Russ Washington there, coming from the right side. It was a play fake, and of course it was a back that had to do that. They wanted to fake and then have the back get the outside lineman, who was Estes. Estes just jumped right over him and made the sack.
There's the gun, indicating the end of the third period of play. That's the end of the quarter with the score 21-17, Atlanta.
This Bud's for all the people who make the sidelines a part of the show.
This Bud's for you. For all you do, the king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you, that distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do,
this Bud's for you.
It's the Delco Freedom Battery Sale. What do you want from a car battery, America?
Freedom to start in the cold. Thanks, Delco.
And you? Freedom from adding water.
Thanks, Delco.
Then come on to the Delco Freedom Battery Sale. AC Delco is making it possible for you to save on the powerful, never-add-water Delco Freedom battery. At participating outlets when you see the Delco Freedom Battery Sale poster.
Thanks, Delco!
Final period of play at San Diego Stadium, with the Atlanta Falcons leading the San Diego Chargers by a score of 21-17. And as we go back to work, the Chargers have a football. They have the 3rd and 8 upcoming at the Atlanta 46-yard line. And certainly a big play in this drive. Dan Fouts now has 278 yards passing as he zeroes in on the 300-yard mark to tie an NFL record. Again, the Chargers having problems getting that running game going.
And that's the thing, you have the feeling sometimes that the running plays are just the wasted plays that they run when they're taking a break in the passing game.
3rd down. Still 6 needed for the 1st down. Falcons fake the blitz and then drop back. Bounce over the middle, complete, flag down. Joyner for the 1st down at the 22. We had a flag thrown.
And that's going to be against the offense. That's an offensive pass interference.
Flag was thrown on the near side and far downfield against San Diego. It will obliterate the 1st down and bring it back.
Right, there was some pushing and shoving down there about the 15-yard line, and every time you see one of those flags in the secondary, it's not always the offense. That time it was against the Chargers. It's not always the defense, excuse me. So that'll give the Atlanta Falcons a reprieve here and make the work a little tougher for the San Diego Chargers.
Pass interference. Number 86, offense. Repeat, third down.
That pass would have enabled Fouts to go past the 300 mark. As it is, he now has 292 in the afternoon, so his next completion could move him into the NFL record book with his 6th 300-yard day of the year. 3rd and 16. Ball is back at the 44 of Atlanta. Again, the Falcons make the blitz. Quick throw to Joyner. Completes it down to the 37-yard line.
That's the second time that he's had to throw that slant against the blitzing situation. As we see Fouts getting up off his back. The Falcons showed the blitz, and then the Chargers went into an audible play, which was the slant, and of course it wasn't enough, or it wasn't supposed to be enough for a first down.
It got him 6 yards, so it'll leave San Diego with a 4th and 10 and a punting situation. Jeff West comes in to do the kicking with the line of scrimmage at the 38. And that pass completion gives Fouts 300 right on the nose. West punt into the end zone on the fly. So the Falcons will take over at the 20-yard line with 12 minutes and 22 seconds left to play in the football game. We'll return to San Diego Stadium after this word from your local station.
Tonight, Gonzo fights to save a derelict's life, while Trapper John tries to save Gonzo's career on Trapper John MD tonight.
This is CBS.
The most famous reindeer of all, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, lights Santa's way to Christmas. Next, a Johnny Cash Christmas with June Carter Cash, Tom T. Hall, Anne Murray, and comedian Andy Kaufman. Then a tribute to Ingrid Bergman with Cary Grant, Goldie Hawn, Frank Sinatra, and Jimmy Stewart. A special Thursday starting at 8/7 Central and Mountain.
Frank Glieber with John Madden back in San Diego. Atlanta, 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. They lead the Chargers 21-17. 12:22 left to play in the game. And Atlanta has come to play. Andrews out to the 23-yard line. You want to compare rushing statistics prior to that play. Atlanta 109 yards rushing, San Diego 45.
And I think that's a big part.
Look at Don Coryell's left shoulder there. I don't know. He got a little worked up on the bench. He ripped his shirt on.
Well, Don comes ready. He's ready to coach. He's ready to play. He's ready to do whatever it takes to get a victory for his football team.
Maybe he took a shot over there on the sidelines.
He could have.
2nd and 8. Again, they go with Andrews. Tough man to hold down, but the officials say he went down at the line of scrimmage.
William Andrews doesn't think he's down yet. He's looking over there and saying, well, why'd you blow the whistle? I haven't been tackled yet.
It'll be 3rd down and 7.
We see it again, you know, right there. There's, I guess they said his knee was down. And
Leroy Jones wraps him up. He just spins around in a circle and keeps on going. Listen to the San Diego crowd now as they try to fire up their defense.
They want their team to get the ball back.
Barkowski. Incomplete. Intended for Francis. Mike Williams back covering along with Mike Fuller.
Mike Williams, the San Diego corners have been playing up tight on the wide receivers of the Falcons all day, and then they bring the safeties in behind them to help them.
Dallas now 21-7 over the New York Giants. Cowboys have lost 3 straight going into that game. John James in to do the punting.
I would anticipate the Chargers to come on a block on this one.
Well, they've got 9 men up on the line of scrimmage. Nice high punt by James. Fuller signals for the fair catch at the 35. And that's where the Chargers have put it in play. All right, we've got 10 minutes, 49 seconds left to play in the football game with Atlanta leading 21-17. Back after this.
Want to play Atari?
Sure, pick something.
Okay, we've got Cannonball.
You're too good at Cannonball.
True. Miniature golf, casino.
Let's play Breakout.
Okay, I'll just pop in the cartridge.
Great.
Who's first?
You be first, I'll win.
Oh, that's what you think.
Dad, that's supposed to be fun for the whole family, right?
Right, son, we're having fun.
Then when do I get to play?
Oh, I did. I broke out.
Rematch.
When do I get to play?
No other company offers you as many different video game cartridges as Atari.
When you're holiday shopping, here's a spot you should stop in with great food that sure satisfies. There's fried chicken that's spicy, onion rings taste just right. See there, homemade, a pleasant surprise. So whatever the reason this holiday season, party hardy with help from Popeyes.
Will Darryl Dawkins break the backboard at the Capitol Center? Be tuned Christmas Day as the Philadelphia 76ers take on the Washington Bullets in an NBA special. First and 10, San Diego. Chargers at their 35-yard line. Artie Owens on the carry up to the 39.
And on to number 24, Artie Owens.
Roland Lawrence making the call. Hey, Owens came to training camp this year. He thought he was a wide receiver. And he found out instead of wearing number 85, which he had last year, they handed him a 24. And he figured something was up.
It meant that he was either going to play in the offensive backfield or the defensive backfield.
Bounce right at 300. So he has tied Joe Namath's NFL record of 6 games in one season of 300 yards or better passing. He drops it off to Owens. 45. And Owens has it up for the first down at the 47-yard line. Rick Byers making the stop.
It was what we call a quick screen or a running screen. Instead of getting the back out there and having him wait for the screen to develop, the screen goes real quick. He gets the ball on the run and takes it up the field. You know, we've been talking about the San Diego Chargers' lack of run offense. I think a lot of credit should go to the run defense of this Atlanta Falcons football team today.
They've held them in check pretty well. Clock is moving with 9.5 minutes remaining in the game. Chargers trail by 4. They have a first down at their 47. Mike Thomas replaces Owens in the backfield. That's Bob Klein, the tight end in motion. Bounce, sees an opening. He's to the 50, 45, 40, 35, and down to the 27. First down.
The running of Dan Fouts has been playing a big part in this game today, hasn't it? That's the fourth time, the third time he scrambled. He had one quarterback sneak. It's the fourth time that he ran today. He just sees a big hole there. There's no one there, so he figures I can get the first down. I'll go and get it. And he didn't even work a slide that time. That was a shoulder. He took him on, didn't he?
He's got 56 yards rushing. I think he's the leading rusher in the game for San Diego.
Yeah.
First down for the Chargers at the 27 of Atlanta. Here they come. Bounce sends Jefferson wide to the left side. He's got Joyner split off to the right. A lot of stunning by the Atlanta defense. Thomas breaks a tackle. Tries to crawl back to the line of scrimmage. Good penetration by Yates, number 79. Sent him reeling, and then Pennywell came up to make the tackle secure.
The one thing I think Atlanta wants to do, especially in passing situations now, they go to the 3-man line, and I think that they want to get pressure in Fouts' face right up the middle, and they're not getting it. And Fouts is able to step up and either throw it or run with it.
Second and 10 from the 27-yard line. Falcons showing blitz. Fouts just did get it away for Joyner. Flag is down.
And that one's going to be against the Atlanta Falcons that time. They did come to the blitz and it was man-to-man coverage. Fouts threw it up there, and it looks like Bias got a little anxious and may have made contact before the ball got there.
That will be a 25-yard pass interference call against Atlanta. Gives San Diego the first down at the 2-yard line.
Pass interference. Number 38 defense. First down, goal to go.
Rick Bias guilty of the call here against Charlie Joyner.
He was beaten by a step or two, and then right there Joyner had to stop, and Bias made contact with him before the ball got there. Otherwise, it was pretty good defense.
Bauer and Williams, the setbacks behind Fouts. Fine in motion. Williams, touchdown.
They're excited. They're all jumping on him. He's getting hit more now by his own players than he did on the short yardage play. What they did is they brought Klein across in motion, and it made the Atlanta defense adjust, run the strong safety to the other side, and they took the ball into the area. You see Klein come across there, and then it was Matthews who takes the ball into the area that was vacated by the safety.
Mike Wood to try the extra point. Very important extra point. San Diego leading by 2. And they lead by 3. 24-21.
As we look again here, let me tell you, that was Clarence Williams who was carrying the ball. I had said Bo Matthews, but it was Williams. You see the safety lead. The guard Doug Wilkerson pulls out. He's ready to lead through there, but they really didn't need his block. The running back beat him to the hole, and they're getting ready for the upcoming kickoff.
Motorcraft battery, it's all right. Saved my life one dreadful night when I told Big Dutch I want to fight. He said, how about now? He broke a table, over a chair. I went from a coupe to go anywhere. My lights had been on while I was there. Motorcraft, don't fail me now. I turned the key as he came through the door. The Motorcraft made the engine roar. Then I heard Big Dutch as he stamped and swore. Gonna get me a Motorcraft battery for sure. Motorcraft, for sure.
RCA wants you to see the right color. Does your television automatically capture all the subtle shades of difference between this surfer in deep blue, this blue surfboard, and the blue Hawaiian surf? If not, wait till you see color, even color this close on Color Track 1980. Color Track 1980, with 8 automatic color systems designed to lock even subtle shades of color on track. RCA is making television better and better.
Sunday, December 8th and 9th, the battle for NFC playoff berths continues. When the champions are crowned, you'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
Lots more exciting action like this on NFL football on CBS next Sunday afternoon. There's the book on the Chargers scoring drive. Here's Woods' kickoff, sailing to Pearson at the 6, 10, 15. And stopped at the 21-yard line. As we mentioned before, the Falcons have not had trouble moving the football either. And could be the last team that does have the football will win this game. It's been back and forth here for the last 10 minutes or so.
The fans like to see offensive games. They like to see wide open games, passing, and higher scores. And they're sure seeing it here today in San Diego with the Chargers against the Falcons right now.
Chargers need this one, knowing that Denver has won this afternoon. San Diego needs this win to stay tied for first place in the AFC West. Big hole up the middle for Andrews. And he thunders for a first down across the 34-yard line. That puts him up over 100 yards rushing on the afternoon.
And it's a trap play. It was just a quick trap play as we saw the right guard came across the field, and blocked the right defensive tackle, and Andrews hit it quick right up the middle. And if the Chargers are going to win, they're going to have to stop William Andrews.
First and 10 for the Falcons at the 34-yard line. Markowski, good protection. Intercepted. Picked off by Woodrow Lowe. First down, San Diego at the 33.
He was trying to go to his tight end, Mitchell, on that play. I don't know if he saw Woodrow Lowe. Woodrow Lowe back straight up into his zone and was standing there. And Mitchell was coming across the field, as we'll see on an in. Mitchell will come across the field. Lowe was just standing right there, and it didn't look like Bartkowski saw Woodrow Lowe. A big play for the San Diego Chargers.
Lowe is the guy who made the big play against the Pittsburgh Steelers when he returned an interception of Terry Bradshaw. 77 yards for a touchdown that more or less sealed the Steelers' fate a few weeks ago here in San Diego Stadium. 1st and 10. Chargers at the 33-yard line of the Falcons. Thomas caught at the line of scrimmage by Wilson Famuina.
Famuina was flying down the line. He's the left tackle. He played off his block, came right down the line of scrimmage and made a very tough tackle.
Bob Lee has hit Preston Denard with a touchdown for the Rams, and they lead Minnesota 21-14 with 7 seconds left in the 3rd period at the Coliseum in Los Angeles. 2nd down, 7.
Atlanta has one thought in mind here. They don't want the touchdown, the Chargers to get a touchdown.
Fouts got the pass away to Thomas as Fouts waited till the last possible moment, and he paid for it. He took a shot in the small of the back that he has got to be feeling.
He's feeling that one. He was looking downfield and waiting. The Falcons secondary had good coverage. As we see here, he's waiting downfield for someone to come open deeper, and it doesn't happen, and then he has to come off that receiver to get rid of the ball, and it happens right there, and he takes a shot in the back. This is a big down for the Falcons because a field goal, still they can do it with just one score.
3rd down, 3 from the 27-yard line. Fouts dumps it off to Thomas. Flag is down as Thomas scrambles and is close for the 1st down at the 22, but we've got a marker down back at the line of scrimmage. Holding against San Diego.
Well, the Falcons needed a play there, and they got it. It was a holding call against the Chargers. That'll put him back 10 yards. Of course, he'll still have the 3rd down, and Don Coryell was saying, what do we have to do?
San Diego leading 24-21, 5 minutes, 4 seconds left to play in the game.
Again, the Falcons know that they're going to get the ball. They'll have plenty of time to score. The only thing that they don't want is a 7, because then they would need 2 scores. A field goal, of course, would be 6, and they could still win the game with 1 score. So again, we'll play it again.
Holding, number 70, offense. He tackled his man. 3rd down.
Well, that's not exactly holding if you tackle your man.
That's a different way to call holding. That's like encroachment and offside and holding or tackling your man.
Russ Washington, the mammoth former all-pro tackle of the Chargers, guilty of that one. It moves it back to the 37. It is now 3rd and 13. Bounce. Trying to get it in there to John Jefferson, number 83. And Jefferson almost makes a sensational catch here.
Roland Lawrence had real good coverage on that. As we see him, he bumps, he gets 1 bump within 5 yards, and then he stays underneath them and runs with them, and they're both going for the ball at the right there at the end. It was a very good defensive play. And the Chargers have to punt.
It is 4th and 13, and Atlanta's defense rises up to do the job. West has only averaged 32.5 yards a kick. Right now, he's trying to saddle the Falcons with poor field position. Pretty good rush by Atlanta. Lands on the 2-yard line and is tipped back into the field of play. And the Falcons will start from inside their 5.
West needed that one, and he's very happy with it because now the Falcons are going to have to drive 99 yards for a touchdown. But remember, a field goal will still tie it up.
4 minutes, 48 seconds left to play in the football game. We'll be back right after this.
This Bud's for everybody who puts in a hard day's work.
for you. For all you do, the king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you, that distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do.
This Bud's for you.
Radio Shack is having a tremendous hi-fi speaker sale. Save 50% on this realistic Nova speaker. Sale price $39.95. You can buy 2 for the price of 1 during this remarkable sale. Nova speakers, designed and engineered by Radio Shack to faithfully reproduce true high-fidelity sound, enclosed in an all-wood cabinet and backed by over 6,000 Radio Shack locations. The sale price realistic Nova speaker. Only at Radio Shack, your Christmas electronics store.
So the Atlanta Falcons will start deep in their own territory. The officials say the ball was down at the 3. So it's 1st and 10 Atlanta from that point. Falcons trail by 3. 4:48 left to play. Barkowski 12 out of 22. Throw it from the end zone. Intended for Wallace Francis. Here's an update on the Cowboys-Giants game. Roger Staubach has thrown 3 touchdown passes to Drew Pearson. 7, 8, and 44 yards. And Tony Dorsett has just run 1 yard for a touchdown with 4 minutes left to play in that game. And Dallas has amassed a 28-7 lead. So it appears the Cowboys have gotten things straightened out. And that, of course, sets up that very, very big game Saturday, which you can see on CBS between the Cowboys and the Eagles, with the NFC Eastern Division lead and probably the championship on the line. 2nd and 10. Barkowski in the end zone. Safety. Wilbur Young, number 99, came barely through and dropped his 300 pounds plus on Steve Barkowski, and that's a big 2 points, because it now means that the Falcons need a touchdown.
We see Wilbur Young there on R.C. Thielman. He gives him that club with the left, and then he goes in and gets Barkowski. That was a big play for the San Diego Chargers, and we'll be right back.
Not for 1 year, or even for 2, but for 3 years in a row. One 19-inch color TV has challenged America's biggest sellers, RCA and Zenith. And every year, independent surveys show the Sylvania Superset, the clear winner for best overall color picture. Isn't it time you found out why Sylvania keeps winning and winning and winning? The Sylvania Superset. We may not be the biggest, but a lot of people think we've got the best picture.
The 79 Ford Countdown clearance is underway. Your Ford dealer is receiving allowances and additional cash incentives that he can pass on to you right now when you buy selected new 79 Ford cars and trucks. It could add up to $400 on V8 pickups, $500 on V8 club wagons and vans, $600 on rancheros. So see your Ford dealer now. Ask him about the $400, $500, and $600 better ideas.
Tonight at 8, 7 Central.
My high school class is naming me Man of the Year.
And the old Flames return to Archie Bunker's place.
How's Edith?
Free kick here following the safety. James will be punting. Fuller running this one down. Fields it at his own 22. Up to the 30. And hit at the 35-yard line. Well, you want to second-guess the Falcons a little bit for not trying to run Andrews when they were deep in their own territory?
Well, you would think that, you know, they had 5 minutes. That was plenty of time, and I thought maybe they would run to get the ball out and get in a little better field position. But once they started with the first down pass and had the second and long, it looked like they had committed themselves to pass on 3 downs in that situation.
Chargers will now try to play ball control and run that clock down, which has 4 minutes and 28 seconds remaining in the football game. Williams to the 40 and run out of bounds in front of the San Diego bench at the 42-yard line by Roland Lawrence. A pickup on the play at 7 yards. It'll be 2nd and 3.
It was the on-guard pull, and the tight end and tackle blocked down the on-guard pull. Ed White leads the play. He makes a good block and then enables Williams to get to the outside. The Chargers now have 2 tight ends in the game, 2 tight ends, 2 running backs, and 1 wide receiver trying to do something to get the running game going.
26-21, San Diego by 5. Chargers at their own 42-yard line. Punts gives to Williams, and Williams driving for the first down. Looks like he's a little bit short. It'll be 3rd down and a yard at the 43. Dan Fouts is the winning quarterback for San Diego in 17 of the last 20 times that the Chargers have gone out. Field's shaken up for the Atlanta Falcons.
The Falcons get good penetration on that right side. The Chargers were trying to run a sweep. They pulled both guards out, and the Falcons were able to get into those holes that were left open and get into the backfield and make a good defensive play and the stop where the Chargers are now in a 3rd and short yardage situation. We'll see Edgar Fields is getting up and walking off the field on his own.
When a black school teacher running for local office is charged with kidnapping on the eve of the election, and even the alleged victim says he didn't do it, was it a frame-up? You can find out. Watch 60 Minutes tonight on CBS. 3rd down and a yard for the first down. San Diego at its own 43-yard line.
The big down for the Atlanta defense.
Bob Klein in motion. Didn't get it.
They didn't make it. You know, it's very interesting. That was the same type of thing that they did on their touchdown play. They put Bob Klein in motion, hoping that the Atlanta Falcons defense would adjust to it. That time they didn't. They just stayed on this side, and the Chargers ran right into it. A good adjustment and good defense by the Falcons.
So the Falcons going to get one last shot at it. 2.5 minutes and counting as West comes in to do the punting. Atlanta with 10 men on the line of scrimmage. They drop one off. Well, that's Lawrence. Now he comes back in, and here they come. High punt and very short. Bounces at the 48-yard line, hits the 50, picked up by a Falcon, and will be returned to midfield. West apparently got a little bit rattled and punted that thing straight up in the air.
That looked like one of those plays you do out in the empty lot when you play with.
I thought West was going to call for the fair catch there for a minute.
The ball just goes straight up and bounces, and someone picks it up. But that gives the Atlanta Falcons great field position.
That's what, a 10-yard punt? How long was that? 10 yards, exactly. I don't believe that. It was high, but it was just straight up in the air.
Usually 10 yards, they're either deflected or they go out of bounds. But
1st and 10 for the Falcons at their 49. Andrews to the 45, to the 40, to the 37.
And we're going to get the 2-minute warning here, but I would continue to run William Andrews, because with 2 minutes and 3 timeouts, the Falcons have plenty of time. And again, the offensive line is doing an excellent job of blocking for the run and the pass against the San Diego defense. We'll be back with San Diego 26, Atlanta 21.
This Bud's for the United States Budweiser bobsled team.
This Bud's for you, for all you do. The king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, Budweiser's proud to sponsor the AAU bobsled team this winter. Here's to you guys, from the king of beers.
For all you do.
This Bud's for you.
Take care of your car at Kmart. Our automotive service centers care.
Shop for Christmas at your Kmart Automotive Center. Save up to $39 on an auto sound system. For just $96, you get an AM/FM stereo radio with 8-track or cassette. plus a pair of great-sounding 5-inch or 6x9 coaxial speakers, all for $96 at Kmart Automotive Centers across the U.S., where quality car products are Kmart priced.
Tell you one thing, this stadium is certainly quieted down after that punt by Jeff West and the run by Andrews, which now gives him 118 yards on the afternoon in 19 carries. First down, Atlanta at the Charger 37. Atlanta trails by 5. Bartkowski over the middle. Francis at the 30, 25, 20, flags all over the place. And I believe we've got a holding or a clipping call against the Falcons near the point where the tackle was made.
I'm sure we do, because that was again a fine run by Francis, and he was working, and you know, and that's the type of thing that has really plagued the Falcons this year. But that's aggressive play, and you have players that are trying to do something. They're trying to spring their runners to make a big play, and sometimes you get a clipping penalty.
It's a costly one because the Falcons would have had the football around the 20-yard line. The walk-off takes it back to the 38.
Personal foul, clipping, number 86, offense. Repeat, first down.
5 penalties, 50 yards. See if we can pick it up here. Number 86 is Mitchell.
And I'm sure we're going to see it right at the end of the run. It's right there where Mitchell comes across, and he has to hit him in the front.
Back to live action, first and 11 from the 37. Bartkowski lets it fly, completes it to Richmond at the 29. What's happening now makes the safety situation look even bigger, because without the safety, all the Falcons would need is a field goal to tie it, possibly send it into overtime. Atlanta has called timeout, their first timeout of the second half. So they have 2 left. We've got 1 minute and 36 to go.
And with the score at 26-21, we know that we're not going to go in overtime. Atlanta, of course, will either score the touchdown or they're going to be too short. But a field goal will do them no good. If they do score a touchdown, the extra point doesn't mean anything.
I want to remind you about Monday night on CBS. Great lineup. The White Shadow gets a new star player and a great big problem along with it. Then on MASH, Klinger wishes he had 6 hands, and at WKRP in Cincinnati, it is ratings time. And there's good news and bad news. Finally, Ed Asner stars on Lou Grant, all on CBS Monday night. Depending on when this football game ends, we may have time to join the Minnesota-Los Angeles game, give you a bit of a NFL bonus this afternoon. That game's running a little bit behind ours right now.
You know, Frank, it's 2nd and 3 here. I think it's important for Atlanta, still with 1 minute, 36 seconds, to think in terms of first down and not touchdowns yet.
2nd and 3 from the 29. Bartkowski on the delay goes to Andrews. He's got the first down and drives to the 21.
I think that's smart. You know, 1 minute, 28 seconds. They take a timeout now. They have plenty of time. They don't have to throw every time into the end zone, and we'll be right back to see what's coming up.
This is revolutionary Flex Track. Now you can make the great race courses. Daytona, Flex Track. Riverside, Flex Track. Long Beach, Flex Track. Banks, Bends, bumps at lightning fast speeds with AFX G Plus cars, the fastest and most authentic in the world. Flex Track. G Plus race cars, now in new Mario Andretti Grand Prix International race sets. Only from Aurora AFX, the closest thing to real racing.
We're not exactly alike. I'm wearing JCPenney plain pockets jeans, and I'm wearing the world's best-selling jeans. My jeans are made of tough, heavy denim with good looks and great styling. And mine have this fancy stitching on the back pocket.
But plain pockets only cost you $12.
JCPenney plain pockets. The big difference between us and them is the pocket and the price. I'll buy lunch.
Ball is at the 22-yard line of the San Diego Chargers. 1st and 10 for Atlanta. They trail by 5. A minute 28 left to play in the game. Bartkowski back to throw it. Andrews at the 18-yard line refuses to go down. Finally dropped at the 15. Boy, what a tough guy to bring down. That's his 4th pass reception of the day, and he's rushed for 125.
They won't huddle up. Steve Bartkowski will audibilize, as we see him doing here, right on the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 4 from the 15. Andrews down to the 10. Drags tacklers to the 8-yard line, and now the Falcons will use their last timeout. They'll stop the clock with 57 seconds to go. Atlanta trailing by 5, but the Falcons threatening, and we'll be back right after this.
It's lightweight. It's portable. It's virtually indestructible. You can hammer on it, saw on it, sand on it, paint on it, drive a screw on it, cut a pipe on it, plane a door on it, fix a picture on it, or a wheelbarrow, or a chair, or a bicycle. You can even have your lunch on it. The incredible Black & Decker workmate. When America has a job to do, it reaches for Black & Decker.
1st and goal to go for the Atlanta Falcons from the 9-yard line of San Diego, but they have no timeouts left. You think they used that last one too early?
I did. I always like to save the last one. You know, that could come back to haunt them, because once you use your last timeout, you're just about committed to pass the rest of the time. Although they had time with 57 seconds, they can still run the ball, huddle up, and get it out of bounds.
Capacity crowd, and most of them are on their feet, exhorting the Charger defense to hold them. They're going to have to stop Andrews. He's been unbelievable. Here's Bartkowski to Andrews. Incomplete at the 5. Ray Preston back defending. That guy's going to be tired tonight, I'll tell you that.
He is. He's earned his paycheck today, and he's done a super job on both receptions and running with the ball.
He's got 131 rushing. That will put him well above 925 on the season. So he's got an excellent shot with 2 games left to go over 1,000.
This is exciting. This is what I always liked about football. When it got right down to the end and you had to get the ball in, you had to use your timeouts, call the right plays, make things happen. I love this.
2nd and goal to go from the 9. Andrews in motion. Bartkowski completes the pass, and the receiver did not get out of bounds. Standback didn't get out of bounds at the 6-yard line. Clock is moving. Falcons can't stop it. They're out of timeouts. Bartkowski looking to the sideline. He can't worry about a play call here, though. He lined up behind the guard. Touchdown!
What a play.
Francis for the touchdown. And the Falcons grab the lead.
That was a great play by Steve Bartkowski. Not only did he make a fine throw, but he had to call an audible on the line of scrimmage.
And he lined up behind the guard originally.
He started behind the left guard, moved over to the center. It's an out and up there by Francis. He starts like he's running a short out and up, and then he turns up the field into the end zone on Fuller. The ball was thrown over Fuller's head. A great catch, a great throw, but more important, a great call in a very difficult situation.
27-26, Atlanta by 1. Mazzetti with the extra point attempt. 21 seconds left to play.
That was amazing with no timeouts.
Wasn't that something? You know, you're saying you're loving the game when you get down to that situation, but you ended up with an ulcer, right?
Right. If I were on the offense, I'd be happy right now. We're going to take another look at that touchdown. But we see that Francis was in the slot. He ran to the sideline and then turned up the field.
Oh, look at Don Coryell. He's got all his guys, his specialty team members at the 50-yard line gathered around. Here's instructions. What would you do now with Atlanta? Squib kick it?
Well, no, you don't want that, see, because if you squib kick it and the Chargers were to recover, it would be at midfield, and it would give them a couple shots into the end zone. I would want to get them deep. Maybe not a long, deep kick, but I would like to kick it at least to and through the wedge.
Tim Mazzetti will be kicking off. Now the Chargers have their timeouts left, but that's not going to help them much with 21 seconds to go.
That's why Mazzetti won't want to kick the ball into the end zone, because when the ball is touched by the receiving team, that'll be when the clock will start.
Lines it up the middle. Fuller up to the 40, to the 44-yard line. And San Diego will call time with 16 seconds to go. Now keep in mind, they just need a field goal to pull this thing out. So what do you think? He got a chance to throw it twice?
At least twice. They have a chance to throw it at least twice, and I'm sure they'll do it. Mazzetti was trying to get the ball through the wedge, and of course was caught by the wedge, and really pretty good field position. And I'm sure they'll be able to get at least 3 throws in here.
First and 10 Chargers at their 43-yard line. They trail by 2. Punts for Jefferson at the 30. First down at the 30-yard line. And San Diego will call time.
That was the same pass that they had hurt Atlanta with earlier. It was a slot. They have the 3 wide receivers, and Atlanta has a hole in that middle, in that post area, and that's where they hit him, as we see it again, right there in the middle on that post pattern to Jefferson. Great catch, great throw.
First down for the Chargers at the Atlanta 30-yard line. Looks like they're going to try to run one more offensive play, and they've got a guy with a strong leg in Mike Wood. I think this is certainly within his range.
They have plenty of time. They have time to pick up another first down, or at least 10 yards. I think they'd like to get inside the 20. At the 20-yard line, of course, that would be a 37-yard field goal. You had 10 yards for the goalpost, 7 yards for the holder. So I think they'd like to keep it in that range of 35, 37 yards field goal, which means they have to get to the 20-yard line. I'm sure they'd like to get another 10, 12, 15 yards.
Lehman Bennett, the Atlanta Falcons coach, thought for a moment they had this thing wrapped up. At this point, Mike Wood would have to kick a 47-yard field goal. Now keep in mind the clock. 9 seconds left to play in the game. The Chargers do have timeouts left. They've got 2. Blitz is on, and the pass is incomplete. Falcons came with the all-out blitz, and it paid off to the tune.
And Don Coryell says that's enough. We're not going to take another try at it. Let's get in there and kick that 47-yard field goal. Again, the Falcons haven't blitzed a lot, but when they blitz today, it has been effective.
Mike Wood is their field goal kicker. Now, we saw him in St. Louis the first game of the year on the last play of the game attempt a 60-yard field goal, which just went under the crossbar. So he has got the leg. Still some discussion on the field here. Wait a minute, we got a walk-off, a penalty here.
Illegal motion, number 86 on the offense. Repeat first down.
Atlanta, of course, takes the penalty. Now it becomes a 53-yard field goal attempt for Wood. 5 seconds left to play in the game. This will win it. It is short. Time is run out, and the Falcons have upset the San Diego Chargers and knocked them out of first place in the AFC Western Division. Coupled with Denver's victory today, San Diego falls to second place with a record of 10-4.
Right there, as we see his reaction, that tells the whole story. Right now, he knows it's short. And you wonder if he's thinking, if we hadn't had that 5-yard penalty, would that have been enough?
You wonder about that. And, of course, when you go back on it, you think of that 10-yard punt, which put Atlanta in position at midfield to go in for what proved to be the winning touchdown drive. But what a football game.
We sure did have one today, and those Atlanta players and coaches are very happy.
Bill Barnes, our producer today at San Diego Stadium, and our director, Bob Dunphy, rounding the pictures. Wally Miller, our associate producer, and some of the other fine people that have enabled us to bring you this telecast out of San Diego Stadium. We rarely get to visit out here, but it is a beautiful spot. Final score 28-26. We'll be back with the Minnesota Vikings and the Los Angeles Rams after this word from your local station.
When a black schoolteacher running for local office is charged with kidnapping on the eve of the election, and even the alleged victim says he didn't do it, was it a frame-up? Watch 60 Minutes tonight on CBS.